What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Cobra Cast 199. A lot is going on today. It's hard to process all of the moving parts that we are experiencing right now, so we're just going to jump right into it. RFK, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., has been confirmed for Trump's HHS. Massive news and massive meltdowns across the board. Kash Patel has now moved on to the floor vote for the Senate. That's going to be happening. I don't know when that's happening. I didn't know when RFK and Kash Patel was happening. There were reports that were happening today, and then suddenly, boom, here they are. Also, with all of that going on, we also right now have Linda McMahon. Linda McMahon for Education Secretary. That's live right now. And you have Triple H and Stephanie behind her and Shane McMahon. What? What are we talking about?
To all of those and to get back to you.
Stephanie right here.
And finally, I'd like to ask you regarding the freezing of funds. If you are confirmed, would you support any directive from the president to freeze funds that have been appropriated by Congress, including funds that students and families rely on to pay for college?
If they've been appropriated by Congress, those funds should be disseminated.
Okay, and so you would block any directive. You would not adhere to any directive, including some of our HBCUs in my state, Bowie, Coppin State, Morgan State. You would not interfere with the freezing of those funds.
I commit to you that I will look into every single one of those programs so that I can get back to you and say, this is what I've found. This is what I've discovered. This is what the action is being taken against it or in favor of it, because I'd want to be very inclusive with you on that regard.
Okay, the final question, I just have 9 seconds here. Title I, I know that you said you support it. If the
So that's going on right now. It's absolutely insane. I couldn't believe when I saw Triple H and Stephanie and Shane O'Mac sitting behind her. Shane O'Mac is, over here on the opposite side of Triple H. I'm just waiting for Vince McMahon to show up. If Vince McMahon shows up, it's over. It will be the greatest day in the history of existence. I'm loving all of this. So, I just wanted to point that out. We're not going to listen to that whole hearing right there. Here's the picture I shared right here on Twitter. But look, it's Shane O'Mac in the house, baby, and Triple H. And I was like, only one person is missing. We need Durag Vince to show up at the hearing. Come on, man. You know that would be great. All right? You know that would be awesome. But the big news of the day, RFK Jr. is confirmed as HHS, and boy, oh boy, has the meltdowns started. I see we got 10 gifted memberships from Logan Miller. What's up, Logan Miller in the house? Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Tucker Carlson uploaded a couple of these videos that I think we should check out really quickly. I bookmarked them. Let's see right here. Here we go. Check this out.
50 years, we'll look back, I'll be long dead, but wise people look back at the Trump phenomenon and see it as much bigger than the man, but as a realignment of the parties and of American society. And as Bobby Kennedy said last night, in the last election, 2020, Biden voters held 70% of the country's wealth, and Trump voters held 30%. So who's the party of the rich and powerful? Of course, it's the Democratic Party. It's an inversion.
And the Democratic Party is not the Democratic Party that I grew up with. It's not the Democratic Party of Robert Kennedy or John Kennedy. That was the party of peace. It was the party of civil rights and constitutional rights. It's now the party of censorship and surveillance and war. The Democratic Party is now the party of big pharma, big tech, big military industrial complex, the big banks, Wall Street, big data, and the big media. They've forgotten about the constituencies that I grew up with in the Democratic Party, the cops, the firefighters, the labor unions. The Democratic Party, when I was growing up, was the party of the poor, the working poor, the middle class. Today, it's the party of the super rich.
There you go. So we've got Tucker Carlson uploading some of these videos. We got this one.
About to invite on is the only person I've ever met who spent, 20 years being denounced pretty much every week by every single news organization in the world. And this man, in the face of opposition that no politician I've ever seen, he persisted in saying what he thought was true. And I've known this man for a while, and I've admired him for a long time. And what's amazing is to wake up in a country that in some ways is not getting better, but to wake up in a country that all of a sudden has stopped mocking this man as a crazy person and has started to realize that the lone brave voice may have been right all along. And so it's an honor to introduce Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
You love to see it. So, I mean, that's where we are right now. And I think he's going to be sworn in today, if I'm not mistaken. Also, Trump has a press conference scheduled, I think, for around 25 minutes from now. If the reports that I saw were accurate, I believe Trump is supposed to be going live here in about 25 minutes. So we'll see. So you've got Tulsi Gabbard, who's been confirmed. You've got RFK, who's been confirmed. And Kash Patel looks like he will be confirmed very soon. And it is a glorious, glorious time right now. And this is not to mention all the other stuff that has already been accomplished in less than 30 days with Trump being in office. And now more and more of his picks are being confirmed. Man, oh man, it's going to be a wild, wild few years. And I cannot wait to see it all play out. Let me see if I have any update on Trump's press conference that he is going to be having very soon. Let's see. Let me look and see. All right, so the Linda McMahon hearing is done, it looks like. Yeah, the Linda McMahon hearing is now ended. That one, I don't expect that one is going to have any real... here we go. President Trump holds major press conference on tariffs. So as soon as that starts, we're going to cover that. So we will pop in over there as soon as that does start. Major press conference on tariffs for President Trump. That's supposed to be starting here in about 25 minutes. If he is on time. Let me see who all is here in the chat. Welcome everybody in. Stephen DeLeon says Stephen DeLeon rules all. Jeremy is the G and T in LGBT. What's up, Stephen DeLeon? Crew Kid says Shane McMahon in a suit is some of the weirdest shit I've ever seen. It's throwing me off big time. Greg says it's a great day. Make America healthy again. Let's freaking go. And again, Logan, thank you for those 10 gifted memberships. Appreciate you. There was also, since we're waiting, let me see if I can find. Yeah, I don't have an actual like timer on it, but I do believe that Trump is going to be live in the next 25 minutes. We're just going to have to wait and see. Let me see. Uh-oh, here we go. Putin has Putin's invited Trump and Winnie the Pooh to attend Russia's victory parade on May 9th in Moscow. Xi Jinping. So I don't know. Will Trump show up? Don't know, but that's just in. We'll see if that actually plays out. Right. But a crazy day, to say the least. Linda McMahon with her hearing. All right, let's hear what Right Side has to say really quick.
Morning, a lot of news going on. Seeing Kash Patel go to the next level. RFK Jr. confirmed as the Secretary of Health and Human Services. Looking forward to seeing that swearing in a little bit later. Of course, President Trump at the top of the hour, a press conference about reciprocal trade and tariffs. A lot of news on this busy Thursday, February 13th.
Oh, yes. And Brooke Rollins confirmed over at the USDA, now the Secretary of Agriculture. So we look forward to her swearing in. And Linda McMahon finally getting that hearing over with the Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee. So excited to see her confirmation as well, because she's someone who is entering this Department of Education to then end it and bring it back 10th Amendment style to the states. So an exciting time for this cabinet.
I'm so glad we have people in the White House that are willing to call the bullshit out. Like this question right here. What a ridiculous question. Listen to this question and the answer.
Does Elon Musk have power of the presidency?
Absolutely not.
Right.
That's
I
a
asked that
ridiculous question.
I asked that question because, the Democrats have been hurling insults at Elon Musk, hurling attacks, calling him President Musk. Most recently, Jamie Raskin, the congressman, took it a step further, calling for Musk's impeachment, saying that he somehow usurped the power of the presidency. What's your response?
It's utterly ridiculous. Elon Musk addressed this in the Oval Office yesterday. The president addressed it as well. Elon Musk is serving at the pleasure of the president, just like everybody else on this team. He takes directives directly from the president of the United States. And I think some of the comments that you referred to are nothing more than a failed attempt from the media and from Democrats to try to sow division in this White House. We saw them do it in the first term. We're not going to let them do it in the second term. This is a unified team who is working at the pleasure of the president to do what's right for the American people.
Does Elon Musk have power of the presidency?
So again, how is it? Explain this to me, Democrats. Okay, explain this to me. On one hand, you say that Trump is an evil dictator that is out of control and he's going to destroy everyone in his path. On the other hand, you say that Elon Musk is actually controlling President Trump. Which is it? Trump can't be this evil dictator that will destroy everyone in his path, but also be controlled by a civilian. It's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. These people make no sense. They just spew nonsense on top of nonsense. They don't even think about how ridiculous they sound. Good Lord, man. But that's where we are with these clowns. They do not care. They do not get it. But RFK Jr. has been confirmed, and that is what today is all about, along with Kash Patel, who has moved on to the final vote. And I don't know when that's going to happen. I don't know if that's, let's see, we got that one. Okay, we got that one. We've got Golden Nuggets for 10 says, I dreamed that me and Beardo were doing a Trump impression competition in front of Trump, and you were there laughing. I watch you guys too much, LOL. Oh, hey, I mean, that would be an interesting scenario. What's up, Golden Nuggets? Philip Butler says, just got an email from Anna Paulina Luna, wants money. I mean, what's she offering? So we'll, guess we'll just have to see. Also, look at this. Look at this. Hang on. If I bookmarked it, I think I did. Yeah, check this out. The Mexican president threatens Google with a lawsuit if the company does not revert the name Gulf of America back to Gulf of Mexico. I wonder how that one's going to work out. I wonder how that one's going to work out for you. Go right ahead and throw that one out there. That's going to be the most glorious backfire of all time. So yeah, please feel free to go right ahead and do that one. Good Lord, man. These people are out of their minds and they're broken. They're all broken. Now, listen, I'm just saying, okay? Some people may not consider it an upgrade, but I'm going to go on a limb here. I'm going to say something crazy. I'm going to say that I think that RFK Jr. is a slight upgrade from Richard Levine. I think that's Richard's real name. Richard Levine, the former HHS for the Biden administration. I'm pretty sure that's an upgrade. I'm pretty sure that's a pretty big upgrade. Isn't that the name of the weirdo? Isn't that his name? Richard Levine. Is that it? If I'm not mistaken. So there you go right there. Let's see. Tatone says final vote on cash is next week. Follow Senator Mark Wayne Mullen on X. He's constantly posting updates on the confirmation process. Noted. Well, thank you. That's good information. Thank you for that over on Rumble. Appreciate that. Okay, so next week. Unearned opinion. Hello, Sabos Gaze. Thanks for the bombs. What? The fantastic OG says the person that is control is little X, quote, help Trump, help America. Yeah, I mean, you know, little X is actually the one that's controlling everything. Him and Barron Trump are controlling everything. I am convinced of that right there. I am convinced. All right, so right now, if you're just tuning in, President Trump is scheduled to hold a press conference at 1 p.m. So in about 15 minutes from now. And that's the main reason I went live. I was going to try to go live earlier. I didn't know when the cash and RFK hearings were. I'm up against it today because I've got a couple of things that I've committed to today. And later tonight, I'm going to go see this Captain African American movie so I can do a review for it for the main channel. So we're going to be live for a bit. I'll cover the Trump presser, and then we'll see how the rest of the day goes. Busy times, but that's okay because America is being made great again right before our very eyes. I am really interested to hear what Trump has to say. Let me see where that's at. Okay. So the Linda McMahon hearing has concluded. I'm looking to see if... Oh, we've got this one from Nicole Shanahan right here. Confirmed. Congratulations, Bobby. Congratulations, America. Thank you, President.
We are told today that our nation is hopelessly divided. But I found something different as I travel this country.
Hey, man.
I have witnessed an upwelling of optimism.
Great meeting you
I've never
too.
seen before. Something is stirring in us. Let's go take back our country.
RFK Jr. is just about ready to make headlines with his running mate choice.
I'm so proud to introduce to you my fellow lawyer, a brilliant scientist, technologist, a fierce warrior mom, Nicole Shanahan.
This campaign is so much more than politics. This campaign is about what is sacred, health and our families in this beautiful land that deserves much greater attention and care than we've given it.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s favorability is skyrocketing.
Bobby Kennedy just got up and said, America leads the world in chronic illness.
This is a real issue that we all face, and we're all being poisoned, and they're profiting off of it. But when someone like RFK Jr. comes along and says, hey, I think we can fix this, it's like, give him a chance.
This is a spiritual journey for me. For 19 years, I prayed every morning that God would put me in a position to end this calamity. The most unifying theme for all Americans is that we all love our children. If we all unite around that issue now, we can finally give them the protection, the health, and the future that they deserve.
Some have called this an unlikely partnership. Former President Trump and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. have formed an alliance.
Former President Trump says he'll work with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to make America healthy again.
Tonight, I'm very pleased to welcome Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Don't you want healthy children? And don't you want a president that's going to make America healthy again?
The MAHA unity movement is very, very strong in the United States right now. Arguably, it is the largest movement in the world.
MAHA should be entirely bipartisan. This is people wanting to make America healthy again.
The most powerful new force in American politics is these moms of the Make America Healthy Again.
This is a transcendent, powerful movement, and it crosses party lines.
I'm a mother to a child with special needs, and I will
dedicate the rest of my life to fighting on behalf of children and their right to be healthy and their right to thrive.
If you are a well person, you have the American dream at your feet. But if you're sick, you only have one dream, and that's to get better. And I can promise you that we are going to make America healthy again.
That's awesome. That was awesome right there. That's inspiring as hell, man. If that don't get you hyped up, I don't know what will. That is awesome. And it's all because President Trump has made this happen, because he's the only person that can make this happen. He's the only person strong enough to bring all of these people together. He's bringing prominent Democrats together. He's bringing prominent Democrats over to the Make America Great Again side. He's the only person that could do this. Elon Musk, former Democrat. RFK, Democrat. Tulsi Gabbard, Democrat. Joe Rogan, Democrat. Prominent Democratic voices. Trump brings them all over to the MAGA side. And now America is more unified than it has been in a long time. And it's absolutely glorious to see. And they can't do anything about it. The liberals can't do anything about it. The left can't do anything about it. The mainstream media is breaking right before our very eyes. They've lost all control. Okay, so right here, RFK Jr. will be sworn in as HHS Secretary at 2 p.m. in the Oval Office. Let's freaking go. It will be happening. That's legendary, baby. Let's go. All right. So Trump is scheduled to go live here in about 10 minutes. He's going to be holding a press conference on tariffs, a major press conference on tariffs. I'm assuming that's going to be 2 p.m. Eastern. That's what I'm assuming that is. Yeah, I'm going to assume that's 2 p.m. Eastern. Let's see. Okay. What is this right here? What is this? I haven't seen this. Joy Behar accidentally claims Elon Musk looks good while absurdly fact-checking his claim about U.S. aid sending fit. Let's see. Here we go.
For 2 weeks, we heard this idea that they spent $50 million on condoms in Gaza. Right. It's not even Gaza in the Middle East. It's Gaza in Mozambique. They didn't even know that.
And the number was wrong, too.
And then he goes on, Elon Musk goes on and said, well, I made a mistake. Meanwhile, you perpetuated the lie for the past 2 weeks, just like they did about these Haitians eating cats and dogs. Lies, and more lies, and then it goes out there. For 2 weeks, we heard this idea that they spent $50 million on condoms in Gaza. Right. It's not even Gaza in the Middle East. It's Gaza in Mozambique. They didn't even know that.
And the number was wrong, too.
Jesus Christ, they're so broken. They have Elon, like they were all driving Teslas before Elon got involved with Trump. They were all driving Teslas. They were all worshiping at the altar of Elon Musk. So let them cry, let them whine, let them be broken. What is this right here?
Dude, you were. And so, hey, you got a measles outbreak happening right now in a couple of parts of the country. And so, yeah, let's see what happens with public health under RFK Jr. We might have to be returning back to the full body suits we were wearing during COVID.
Roland, how many COVID shots have you gotten?
Oh, I've had 2.
Roland, you're a big guy, science. How many COVID shots have you gotten?
And guess what? I've had 2, had no problem. And RFK's children have had shots as well, vaccine shots as well.
Hold on.
But he's also against vaccines.
But Roland, the government has told you that you should have had 10. Why did you stop at
2?
Get him, Clay. Get him, Clay.
And when I traveled to Africa,
I just want to know, Roland, the government has told you to get 10 COVID shots. Why did you stop at 2?
I've traveled to Africa twice in the last 5 years, and I've had numerous shots as well. So I have no problem with vaccines. unlike RFK Jr.
Okay, but I'm specifically asking, you're going after RFK Jr. for not following government advice. You have chosen not to follow government advice and get 10 COVID shots like your government has told you. Why are you not a science denier? Why are you not a shot denier?
First of all, 'cause I'm not a science denier. I'm not a science denier. I'm not a shot denier. And I also believe in vaccines.
Science by only getting 2 COVID
I'm not denying
shots.
science. Play, that's cute, but I'm not denying science.
I think you are. You've left 8 COVID shots. I'm surprised you're still alive. Why'd you not get the other 8 shots, the boosters?
I can show you the 15 shots
Why
that I
are
got.
you denying science,
with
Roland?
Africa.
Why?
It's cute. Play.
I don't know if we can share this show now with you being such a science denier.
Play. Your little cute little moment is cute, but it doesn't work.
I don't know how you're still alive. That was really good. I like Clay Travis. I know he was a DeSantis bro. I know that. I've been listening to Clay Travis for a long time on sports radio, and I've always been a fan of Clay. All right, right here. Here we go.
Mitch McConnell. There was one very significant defection here in the United States Senate. That was Republican Mitch McConnell, the former GOP leader, someone who just put out a scathing statement about RFK Jr.'s views about the issue of vaccine. I'm going to read you part of it, Pamela. He said that he noted that he's a childhood survivor of polio, and he talked about how vaccines have saved millions of lives around the world. He said that he will not condone the relitigation of proven cures, and neither will millions of Americans. He goes on to say that referring to Robert F. Kennedy Jr., a record of trafficking in dangerous conspiracy theories and eroding trust in public health institutions does not entitle Mr. Kennedy to lead these important efforts, referring to efforts to try to treat illnesses and disease. He goes on to talk about the efforts to try to deliver on vaccines. He says, Mr. Kennedy failed to prove he's the best possible person to lead America's largest health agency.
Yeah, McConnell has to go. I don't know how McConnell is still how is he still involved in politics at this point in time? It is absolutely mind-blowing to me. Nobody likes him. Have you ever met a person that's actually a fan of Mitch McConnell? I've never met one. I've never met someone that says, man, I love Mitch McConnell. I'm such a supporter of Mitch McConnell. You've never met one because they don't exist. There's not a single person that's a fan of Mitch McConnell. Nobody. It's crazy.
Filled, but it's an amazing time even for the 119th Congress that was sworn in on January 3rd. So here at Right Side Broadcasting, we give you this unbridled access, all of the coverage. And just as we did with the rallies, we actually go to the hearing so you hear word for word and the questioning and the discussion. Other news networks just won't do that. They'll pop in for a moment.
Forest of the Trees for 10 says, have you listened to Joe Rogan 2272 episode with Mike Benz yet? Mind-blowing statements related to U.S. aid. If it's true, which appears so, reform is absolutely necessity, or else history will repeat. I don't really listen to Joe Rogan. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. Obviously, Joe Rogan's the biggest podcast in the world. If there's a specific episode, I will, but usually I'll just kind of check the highlights and stuff like that. But that I might have to check that one out. Anima Chains had a for 10 says had a colonoscopy today. Ooh, goodness. Or this morning. Horrible experience. I still need to know what's wrong with my intestines. But I'm really happy I can chill and watch Cobra Cast with the homies right now. Cheers. I've never had one, and I may actually just end up dying before I have one. I just don't think I can go through the process. I just don't. I feel for you, brother. I feel for you. But that's why we're here, to keep you entertained. Let's see. Sage Cage says, do you find it odd that the new Captain America movie isn't getting as many positive reviews as once the U.S. AIDS payment stopped? I know. Isn't that interesting? A lot of racism over there on Rotten Tomatoes. A little bit intimidated by a black lead character in a comic book movie. Pretty interesting indeed. Operation Outstanding Infield. What's up, Drew? Incredible news for those injured by the shot. Time for accountability and acknowledgement. Would you like to know more? Let's fucking go. Hell yeah, baby. It's awesome, Drew. Good to see you, brother. I saw you on the GCA last night. By the way, my homies at the GCA need like 60 something or 70 something subscribers to hit 1,000. Do we think we can get the GCA there? Come on. I think we can. How many subscribers does the GCA need to get to 1,000? How many? I saw you though. You were on there last night, Drew. I saw it. How many do we need? Let me know. Let's see if we can make that happen today. Looks like Jessica just posted the link to the GCA. I think we have 930. So we need 70 to make it to 1,000. I think we can make it happen. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. It's been a while since I called CobraCast. Hope all is well. Hail the 199. Good to see you here. Thank you. RFK's first order of business, investigate Event 201 and why the CIA was helping fund U.S. aid. The jab. 100%. Stephen DeLeon says, Roland looks like Ashy Larry. Zinny Biscuit says, I'm not done winning, even though the power's out and my phone connection is potatoes. Why is your power out, Zinny Biscuit? Everything okay? Hope everything's okay. And Veronid with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Let me see. Are we there? We're almost at 1,000. I think we can do it. Come on. Let's make it happen. GCA is awesome. I appreciate those guys and all their support. Only 26 subs left. Oh, yeah. Okay, so if you're just tuning in, we have a press conference with President Trump lined up here in the next, he should be going live now, as a matter of fact. So any minute now, Trump should be getting ready to go live. A major press conference on tariffs. Then we have RFK Jr. scheduled to be sworn in the Oval Office right after Trump's press conference. A big day, ladies and gentlemen. A big day indeed. So, you thought I said 2? I did say 2 Eastern, but it's that'll be 1 Central. We're at 1,000. Is the GCA at 1,000? It's 1 EST right now. Oh, so 1 for me is what I'm saying. 1 for me. It's 12 for me right now. Hell yeah. That's freaking awesome, man. That's freaking awesome. Congratulations to the peeps over at the GCA. That's good shit, man. Love to see it. Okay, so we're just currently waiting right now. Let me see if we have any updated time on the Trump press conference. Still waiting right now. Nothing. What is this? Okay, I haven't seen that one. I'm seeing a lot of Daytona 5. You know what? I got to show you guys this while we're waiting, okay? If you guys know, I used to be a big NASCAR fan. I used to love NASCAR. I used to be obsessed with NASCAR. Not so much anymore. And specifically, one of the main reasons that I can't stand NASCAR is because it's super woke, and they've built everything around this clown right here, Bubba Wallace, Bubba Smollett. Bubba, let me create a fake hate crime and pretend that there's racism everywhere with this fake news story. And then the FBI sent like 7 or 8 agents to Talladega, Alabama to investigate a fucking garage door pull because Bubba Smollett wanted to create a fake narrative. Now, here is Bubba Smollett whining about Trump if he was going to attend the Daytona 500. Bubba Wallace is a literal piece of shit. He is a horrible person. I can't stand this dude. He's arrogant as fuck. He's not good. He's a race baiter. And now he stepped in it big time because he's disrespected Trump. Once again, he's disrespected Trump. So, okay. So I wanted to cover that really quick. before we get started on this. So we're waiting for Trump right now.
With Matthew Alvarez as we await President Trump's press conference to be held right about now at the White House. And we just had another one up in the sky on his way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he has a press conference. That's a great point. We were talking before about the press conferences that the president has. You know, of course, in the East Room, we'll have one today with the Indian Prime Minister, and then a press conference in the Oval Office, and then a press conference, you're right, in Air Force One on Sunday when he was over the Gulf of America on his way to the Super Bowl. So talk about transparency.
Right. I mean, this is someone that works at a breakneck pace, but is always welcoming. And the open door really is there for the press, whether it's in town, out of town, on the plane itself, or at any other event that he travels to. And that was the promise of White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt at her first press conference just a few weeks ago. And doesn't it make you want to enjoy some traditional Indian food?
Piano Dean says, yes, science tells us that vaccines help prevent disease, but science also tells us that spiders have 8 legs. I've never counted, but that seems low. Warbreer says, I look forward to every Cobra Cast. Best thing on YouTube. I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not, but I'll take it. Because I don't believe that's a genuine compliment, I'll accept it. If I felt that this was a genuine compliment, I would feel uncomfortable. But I feel like this is sarcasm. So I'm willing to accept it since I believe it's sarcasm. That's how I'm going to look at that one right there. I believe it's sarcasm. I don't think Warbreer is actually complimenting me at all. So, Boomy Bob says, one thing I forgot to mention down in Orlando is when I first watched you, I thought you were Kevin Feige. I don't think that's, well, that means Brie Larson would love me. If you know, you know. Stephen DeLeon says, is it gay to super chat a gay? I mean, I guess that's a personal question for you right there to address, Stephen DeLeon. I think you need to focus on getting better sports teams, if I'm going to be honest with you.
As the El Salvador president and on, you know, Javier Milei in Argentina and on. So, yeah, it's just great to see the amount of things happening on the foreign front, but also, as you guys know, the domestic situation. We're seeing a lot of advancements for our country at a high speed. And it's very interesting to cover this every day because there's so much going on.
Right.
And the left wing, again, the media and some of the Democrats just want to try and push the brakes on anything. And I'm just going to call it out. The Drudge Report, you know, if you look at it just for a second, go ahead and.
What happened to Drudge? Like the Drudge Report, Matt Drudge used to be like one of the most respected guys in media. And then he just lost it like a couple of years into Trump's presidency, if I'm not mistaken. I never really followed the Drudge Report, but yeah, the dude just like completely lost his mind. Paid off? Think so? That seems to be what is this? Look at this fucking clown right here.
The Department of Education.
You know, what is going on in this country, not only with education, but with other institutions, is the president is operating in a very authoritarian, illegal, and unconstitutional way. If they want changes in the Department of Education, they want to abolish the Department of Education, fine, come to Congress. That is the process. That is what our Constitution is about. You know, we have 3 separate branches of government: the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary. We are not and cannot and must not move to all power in one branch.
Senator, does that mean you're worried about oversight for something like Robert RFK Jr.? Like, once he's confirmed, are you concerned that you won't have that?
I am concerned that there is a real look. It is a little bit weird, just a little bit weird, that the president of the United States is now head of the Kennedy Center. You know, my the person in America, I think that's a little bit strange. You know, we have other people who know a little bit about culture, maybe even more than the president. But what is clearly happening in this country right now, every single day, with Musk, with President Trump, is more and more power going to fewer and fewer people, and often people who have huge amounts of money.
Can you tell me about your
Bernie Sanders is a complete fucking joke, and he knows it. He's been exposed as a piece of shit, as a fraud, and I'm glad that he's been exposed. And you're mad because RFK essentially just put you on blast and he went viral for calling you out for the trash that you are. So I'm glad that Bernie Sanders has been exposed. I really am. He is a piece of garbage. 1992 space movie for 10 gifted memberships. Let's freaking go. Thank you so much. Let's see. Robert Barnes, Matt sold off the Drudge Report. U.S. AIDS. That's the way. I bet you that's it. Warbreer. I do look forward to each and every CobraCast. All jokes aside, this is the best show on YouTube. Chat is king and contributes so much to CobraCast greatness. That I will agree with. Chat is king. We do have the best chat, and it's not even close. So we can agree on that one, Warbreer. I appreciate it, though, brother. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the show, and I'm glad that the chat does such a good job. Alec Baldwin's finger for 50 gifted memberships.
Who the fuck is Alec Baldwin's finger?
The man himself, ABF, in the house for 50. Just as we were complimenting this wonderful, wonderful chat, there we freaking go. Hell yeah, brother. Thank you, ABF. Let's see here. Jeremy, did you react to Asmongold reaction of you? If so, how many streams ago was it? Hail the 199. I didn't. I just put out a tweet, thanking him for reacting to me. Mainly because he went like halfway through my video and then he went to he cut it off. So but no, it was cool. It was like the #1 trending video on the one he reacted to me on. So but I did not react to him reacting to me. I should have, but I was traveling last week. I guess we could still do that. We can still do that. Holy crap, Kevin with another 50 gifted memberships. Okay, now we got to celebrate. Now, I mean, that's proper 199 level celebration, ladies and gentlemen. So, I mean, there's the celebration. Everybody's happy. We're all going crazy. A lot of jiggling going on, a lot of happiness. Back-to-back 50 gifted memberships. That's how we celebrate right there. Let's freaking go. Holy crap. Jeez. You guys are insane today. Holy crap. JRG Project says, congratulations to RFK Jr. in 2024. I wanted RFK to be the president because I feared lawfare would undo President Trump. Now I get the best of both worlds and a chance for RFK to run again. Hell yeah, man. I mean, I personally, I wouldn't support RFK as president. But I love the guy in the position he's in. Just because he's got some really strange takes on some things. Even Trump called him out on that. But with that said, I'm very happy that he's in this position and that Trump is unifying America. Chris says, my son's dog passed. He's pretty bummed. If you can give him a shout out, I'm sure it'll cheer him up. We love watching you guys on Geeks and Gamers. His name is Chris. Thanks for all you do, brother. God bless. Chris, I am so sorry. Dogs are family. I totally understand that this is painful right now, but your dog's in a better place. I went through it recently. I had a dog pass away in the past year, and there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about all the memories I had with my good buddy. Puppy Face was my dog's name. Not a day that goes by I don't think about him. I miss him every day. But I know he's in a better place and we gave him a good life. And that's how I'm able to move on from it, is to know that his time here, we gave him a great life. And that's how I've, found peace in it. Just knowing that I made him happy when he was here. And, but prayers up for you and your family. And dogs are family, 100% family. 0 for the gifted membership. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Free Men Die Free says, I got 2 words, MAGA wizard. Thank you. Let's see. Just FYI, your episode counter is stuck at 199. I know I probably need to change that. Jades ain't got shit on me. That profile picture is interesting to say the least. Jeremy has U.S. AIDS. U.S. AIDS. Joseph says Mitch McConnell, Bernie Sanders, people like that are why we need term limits so badly. The RFK confirmation made my day. He's perfect for the job. 100%. 100%. Who the F is Kevin? The man that drops 50 gifted memberships. Got to get Kevin a nickname. Chris Coran says all dogs go to heaven. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I believe that. Victor says, man, it's hilarious that Mexico's president wants to sue Google when their GDP is smaller than Google's market cap. Hail the 199. Viva Trump. Viva chat. Absolutely. Absolutely. Kevin's finger. Kevin McAllister. Kevin McAllister. That's funny. Okay, so we're waiting for President Trump.
About 4 o'clock, the president will meet with the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, and then there will be a press conference at about 5:10 Eastern. Those times are loose, of course, because of the schedule of the president. If he has a phone call that's an emergency call or he has to take care of something, you know, that's just how it's working. So we kind of roll with the punches in the sense of the live fluid situation that we have here at RSBN Live. So thanks for sticking with us as we get ready to see 2 press conferences coming up with President Trump there at the White House, one in the Oval Office to the right of your screen, and then to the left, the East Room a bit later. So we'll have all of that here for you. To your point, with so much news going on the first half of the day, with all of the confirmation, cloture votes, the great move of RFK Jr. becoming the Secretary of the Health and Human Services. So quite awesome to see all of this come together as it's 1:14. Also, while we await this press conference, why don't we look at the possibility, Director, of even though it was from just a couple of days ago, the Elon Musk thing with Doge. Oh, yes. What an awesome moment at the Oval Office. So maybe we can go to that as we keep a live picture up as we wait for this press conference as well. Let me know if we can do that. It's about 30 minutes long. We won't play the whole thing, but it's still good to hear for that time there. Why don't we also thank a number of sponsors, including RepublicanRed.com,
so
Red Winery. Robert,
take
it away with the.
They seem to think that it may. I don't know, because I'm seeing right here the Oval Office is set up for Trump to walk in there right now because we got this image right here. Everything's set up, so Trump is. I'm assuming that's the one he's going to be doing right now, but maybe not. So we shall see. We'll keep an eye on it.
F. Kennedy Jr. is now our new Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services. What do you have to say about that? Are you good? Senator Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is now our new Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services. What do you have to say about that?
Oh, man. I love the freaking internet, man. I love it. So good. The attitude era is here. Twitter is takeover. Twitter is takeover. No doubt about it. What is this? Oh my God. John Bolton. What?
You believe Putin sees Trump as what you described as an easy mark. You were there for their first meeting in Helsinki. What are your expectations for this one?
Well, I don't have any expectations anymore. I think we know exactly what's going to happen. President Trump has effectively surrendered to Putin before the negotiations have even begun.
So again, If President Trump is this evil dictator that is welding his power all over the world and nothing can stop him, how is he being controlled by Putin? How is he being controlled by Elon? How is he being controlled by China? How is all of this possible if Trump is the evil dictator that is using his power to destroy everyone? How? These people don't make any fucking sense. There's no consistency to their arguments. None. Good Lord. Mexican Iron Man says, for anyone that does not support Gulf of America, I propose they call it Gulf of Mexicans Can't Swim. Hail the 199. Hail fearless leader Jeremy. Hell yeah. Let's freaking go. I like it, Mexican Iron Man. How you doing, brother? Jake becomes a new member. Thank you. Oh no. To me, my sex men, Beardo fucked up and Jay called him out. Oh boy. Oh boy. CJ says future refugee here. Much love from South Africa. Thank you. Appreciate that. Good Lord. The memes are glorious. What are they saying right now?
On whatever platform you're watching on, and specifically Rumble. Obviously, yesterday it was great to see Chris Pavlovsky, the CEO of Rumble, as part of the new media inside the press briefing room, asking the first question. So, again, this isn't just a legacy establishment press. Everybody sits in their seats. No, it's a new day now, thanks to President Trump.
It really is. I mean, you could go right there to that website, whitehouse.gov/new media, and they instantly received roughly 10,000 applications. So it's going to be great to see who's going to be sitting in that front row seat to ask Caroline a couple of questions, maybe even the president on occasion when he's in the Brady press room. But it seems as if he has a press conference every other day, whether it's in the air on Air Force One or from the Oval Office or just hanging out with Elon Musk, telling the fake news what they are all about. And they've had to repeat themselves on a number of occasions now, but you know, that's.
Keenan says, Jeremy, when are you watching the last Cobra Kai episodes? I wanted to watch it last night, but I guess it didn't drop till 2 a.m. I've got a very, very busy day, so I'm going to try my best to watch all as much as I can tomorrow. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm sad Cobra Kai is ending, but I'm also happy that it's ending probably on a high note. I'm glad they're not going to overdo it too much. So looking forward to it. Burns says, these boomers know the Cold War ended 40 years ago, right? Quit trying to carry on the fight. It's done. Go to sleep, old man Bolton. Hell yeah. Hi, Jet says, big balls, hairy balls, trolling the media is top tier comedy. Yes, it is. Nader's Brick Channel says, you may need to do a wellness check on Ryan. He was too happy and cheerful today on Daily. That's concerning. That is very concerning. So I will have to check. Cobra Cast Kai. All right, so while we're waiting on this, I'm going to see if there's any more updates happening. Okay. Got that one. We got that one. There's RFK. John freaking Murdoch just dropped 10 gifted memberships. What's up, John freaking Murdoch? How you doing, brother? 10 gifted memberships. I am worried if Ryan if Ryan was happy. I'm worried about that. That means he could have been drinking. So let's see here. All right. Oh my gosh. What is this? That's exactly what it looked like. Oh no. Okay. Adrian Curry, For Tids, as I lived in Russia on a visa for 3 months, Russians are mega based. If we were to get along with anyone, it would be them. You know, that's the thing. And thank you, Adrian Curry. Appreciate you. Good seeing you here, as always. You know, like the whole, like, the left has constantly told us that you can't hate anyone just based on nationality or race or identity, shit like that. Yet all they do is hate on Russians. All they do is tell you how Russians are the worst people in the world. You notice that? Oh my gosh, you can't say China virus. That's disrespectful to China. But then at the same time, they're like, Russians bad, Russians horrible, Russians the worst people ever. It makes no sense. It's like, okay, so basically, I'm going to do the opposite of what you tell me to do. So thank you, Adrian, for that. We appreciate that. Jesse MacArthur with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Dank Prometheus is $1.99 for Gay Remy's big butt mom. Blast Radius says Roland Martin. Let's see. Minstrel Babble fumbling the ball on the COVID shot question was hilarious. He's such a clown. He's always been a clown, too. SBZ says Jay should apply for press pass. He knows real celebrities, unlike you figs. Lord Bothus says, fun fact, apparently the guy who plays Johnny's son, Robbie, and the girl who plays Daniel's daughter in Cobra Kai just announced they're engaged. Really? Really? Well, that's interesting. I'm looking forward to it. I love Cobra Kai. I think it's a great series. They did a great job on it. So, Jason JJ, Jay says the U.S. Navy's USS Harry Truman aircraft carrier collided with the commercial shipping vessel called Besiktas M off the Egyptian coast yesterday. I hope I said that correctly. I hope I said that. Let me see here. All right, so Trump to hold a press conference soon at the White House. So we're waiting. I guess Trump deserves a pass. He's kind of busy these days. So we'll give him a pass. The actor that plays Kreese lives in my town, says GB. Really? Okay. That's cool. All right, let's see what they're saying.
About a year ago, and from Sri Lanka. He was there with 22 family members. They were all legal immigrants. That's great. Yes, right?
Absolutely.
So we just want the crime to stop and want the fentanyl to stop being poured in through the southern border. And remember, you're talking about this last week, the northern border, that the fact that there are Mexican drug cartels operating in Canada, that according to an executive order from the president.
Right, and that's really remarkable to think about, but it's great that we have these North American partners in order to stop this fentanyl crisis that has killed hundreds of thousands of Americans. And now the cartels, MS-13, Tren de Aragua, among others, foreign terrorist organizations, President Trump designated with the stroke of his pen. And justice is being brought to those who sought to do harm. And many of those are now down in Guantanamo Bay. So a good thing to see.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of Department of Defense, whether they're photos, still images, or videos of about 4,100 military service members there, whether it's the Army, the U.S. Marines, National Guard, and also those flying in those huge planes, the C-130s and other planes to Guantanamo, those connected to criminal activity. So a lot of great things being done for the country, and we look forward to seeing more of that, just to bring up that law and order and safety for all of us.
Oh, exactly. Something so essential so that you can live your American dream and life, liberty, and the...
All right, I've got other feeds pulled up just to make sure we're not missing anything, but yeah, the other feeds are in the holding pattern as well. So I don't know if Trump is going to... I don't know if they're going to swear in RFK first, or are they going, or is Trump going to hold his press conference first? I guess that'll be interesting to see. So I'm keeping an eye on everything right now, though. Seeing if there's any updates. Edwin says Miguel and Johnny are the heart of the soul, heart and soul of the show Cobra Kai. I mean, all the characters are generally good. you know, I would say, I mean, Daniel and Johnny both do great. Miguel, I like Miguel a lot. I like Robbie. So, let me see here. That was yesterday. That was yesterday. Okay. But Johnny is the best. Johnny's the best character in the show by far. In my humble opinion, Johnny Lawrence is the best. Sam is the worst. Sam's the worst character in the show, in my opinion. Andy Plays Games says, I'll watch all Cobra Cast, Geeks and Gamers Friday Night Tight streams, and so does Adrian Curry, it seems, which is weird because it's kind of means we're kind of friends. Not exactly, but sort of. Hey, I appreciate you. You know, he's like, hey, I'm trying to justify this in some way, shape, or form. I mean, Adrian Curry, the fact that Adrian Curry watches like any of my shows is crazy. And then you've got like What Planet Do We Live In, where Adrian Curry and Gina Carano watch what we're doing. That's crazy to me. But here we are. Python Bacon says, coffee just keeps tasting better and better. Hail RFK, Trump, and the chat, and the greatest show in the history of the internet. Thank you. Angel says, your government is getting cooler by the day. Kind of jealous over here in Europe. Well, the Trump effect is going to be taking effect everywhere, it seems, at some point in time. So, but thank you. We're loving it. We're loving it. Yeah, the fact that Dan Vasc watches me, like, it's great that a gay icon like Dan Vasc watches the channel. That's pretty cool. The craziest story, I've told this before, the craziest one for me was when, you know, I'm sitting there. I get a message from Taj Jackson, who's Michael Jackson's nephew. And like, he's a fan. He was watching one of my streams when I was talking about, somebody sent a super chat about Michael Jackson. And Taj said he'd been watching since The Last Jedi. And when I answered the question about Michael, he didn't know what I was going to say, because I never really talked about Michael Jackson. And I all I talked about with Michael was how Michael's the greatest entertainer of all time, and, you know, yada, yada, yada. And, you know, I feel like, you know, he's been thrown under the bus by the media. And Taj was like, I couldn't believe it, man. I was so happy when my favorite YouTubers supported my uncle. I'm like, what? And the first time I talked to Taj, he was in Vegas with Janet. And I was like, that is the craziest thing ever. That is the craziest thing ever. Lord Botha says, you could almost say Johnny is the best around. Nothing's ever going to keep him down. What's up, Lord Botha? And I did do an interview with Taj Jackson over on the Geeks and Gamers channel. I don't even, is that on the main channel or is that on the G&G2? I'm not even sure. But yeah, that interview is up. I'd like to get Taj back on the channel, actually. Okay, so we're still in the waiting game right now for President Trump. I've got this feed pulled up right here as well. They're just replaying some of the stuff from RFK before. So they say soon, RFK sworn in as health secretary. So is Trump going to do the presser, or is he going to swear in RFK? That's the question I don't have the answer to. So I guess we will see. Holy crap, that is cool as shit. Look at that. I know it's random, but look at this. Tell me that's not cool. Awesome chalk art from Epcot's Festival of Arts. Look at that. That is cool as shit. Oh, that's awesome. I'd like to go take a picture of that. That is cool as hell. That is cool. Hell yeah. All right, that's pretty awesome. Give that one a like. Yeah, that's badass. Okay. Dank Prometheus says Kamala Harris was the prosecutor in their with their MJ case. Was she? I know she was active within that. I didn't know she was the actual prosecutor or not. I know she was involved. That's right, because there was a video of it. I think I shared this a while back. So there's this video of Trump, because Trump from day one was always like pro, like Michael Jackson did nothing wrong. And then I'm pretty sure I did see some video of where Kamala was involved in that. See if I can find. Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Here we go.
Slandered Michael Jackson. And now, 20 years ago, Kamala Harris slandered Michael Jackson. And now Donald Trump has finally avenged him. Few people know that Trump and Michael were once best friends. In 1993, Michael was accused of inappropriate relations with children, and the media began attacking him relentlessly. At a crucial moment, Trump took Michael into his home for 9 months and chased away all the media that showed up. From that point on, they formed a deep friendship. Unexpectedly, in 2003, Michael was slandered again. This time, the media actually made a fake documentary to slander him, and Harris, who was the California Attorney General at the time, openly slandered Michael in a media interview, claiming that even without evidence, children don't lie. Trump investigated and found that the mothers of these children were fraudsters who used this method to obtain money. Although Trump had been helping Michael fight back, his efforts alone were not enough to challenge the media. It wasn't until after Michael's death that he was proven to be innocent. From then on, Trump held a grudge against Harris. The death of his close friend became Trump's motivation, but he never used his relationship with Michael to gain votes. Now, he has finally defeated Harris and avenged his friend for the grudge from 20 years ago.
Trump, there's a lot of video of Trump like adamantly defending Michael Jackson, like adamantly defending him. Going on record, I think he was on Larry King Live, and he's basically like, no, I know Michael. Michael did absolutely nothing wrong. Here it is right here.
And recollect with some detail the incident, and that is persuasive to a jury, even if it is the only testimony that is available.
Jackson gave a wave when he was released after booking. He's scheduled for arraignment in January.
Michael's been a long-time resident of Trump Tower, and last night the Donald strongly reiterated his defense of Jackson with Larry King by going after the accuser's mother.
She's had plenty of experience at going after people, and she goes after them viciously and violently, and I saw a story and I read another story about some of the things she's done, and I don't believe it.
But you know what it's like when an indictment comes down.
It's tough.
It's presumption.
It's tough. It's tough to win, but I have a feeling he's going to win, Larry. The interesting thing is I've known Michael from many different standpoints, and Michael would spend a lot of time with my kids. I have beautiful kids, and at the time, like at Mar-a-Lago, and even in Trump Tower, the kids were very young. Michael would come, play with the kids. He just loved children. He was not a child molester, and I am certain of that. He loved children. He'd play with my son Eric and my son Donald, and he'd just play with them forever. He loved children, but he was not a child molester. And, you know, that whole final saga of Neverland and the police and what they did was, I think, a very, very bad part of Michael's life.
That
hell yeah
could mean life in prison. And cases like this can depend on the testimony of the child accuser.
In general,
Trump, always the man, even all the way back then, standing up for what was right.
Smith, the Democrat from Minnesota, announced her retirement. Wow. Like, who cares? You know, the guy's radically left and woke and didn't win. And, you know, let's make Minnesota great again. That was really a state that was going back and forth during the election night there, where we saw, okay, it might go red, it might go blue. Same thing with Virginia a little bit, New Jersey a little closer. But yeah, let's get it done for Minnesota.
Right, and I think a great way to do that would be Mr. Mike Lindell running for governor, now that it will be an open seat.
That's a great point.
I would love to see that, and would be very supportive personally. But at least promises made, promises kept, Matthew, for the former vice president and Governor Walz, both saying that they aren't going quietly into the night. So unfortunately, that was the one thing they were honest about.
Yeah, it's just wild to see all of what's happening. Now, we saw that Mitch McConnell voted no on RFK Jr.'s confirmation. We, the people, are voting no on Mitch McConnell at this point. That's just the facts. But we still have to keep, of course, the GOP conference united. I get it. But we talk, you know, real opinions here sometimes at the network, and we have the pro free speech to do so.
Well, as much as I appreciate Senator McConnell, when he was in the majority leading the caucus to get.
BizJack says, I got a raging MAGA right now. Retardo for $2 with a thumbs up. That's it, man. Just a thumbs up. By the way, I have to ask this question while we're waiting. I think I sent, let me see if I met someone in Orlando at the meetup, and I don't know who they are. And I don't know if anyone knows who this person is. I was so busy that I didn't get a chance to go back because this is one of the coolest things ever. Okay. So if anyone knows who this person is, okay, hang on. Right here. Check this out. Someone dressed up like IDOT at Orlando MegaCon. Someone dressed up like IDOT. I took a picture, but I didn't get a chance to ask them who they were. This is the coolest thing ever. Who is this? Who are you? Who is this mystery person? So if you know who they are, just tell them to reach out to me. I just think it was an awesome thing to see. So that is cool. So if you want to say anonymous, obviously I will keep your secret, but I appreciate it. So that is the coolest thing ever. So, but yeah, IDOT, man, IDOT cosplay. What in the heck are we doing? This is amazing. So I love it. I love it so much. So, anyway, I just wanted to mention that really quickly. So we are all IDOT. Yes, we are.
They were highlighting what Elon Musk said. Elon said, quote, the people voted for major government reform, and that is what the people are going to get. So Elon Musk being highlighted by the White House on the X page, and it's great to see that right there.
Oh, yes. No, he is truly a public servant, just like President Trump is. And that meme circulating through Truth, through X and Facebook, among other social media accounts, you might have seen it with them in the Oval Office together, saying the most famous man in the world with the richest man in the world, taking the time out of their lives to save our country.
I just don't get why the left-wing leadership we're talking here hates success so much.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with someone making a ton of money in America. We're allowed to do that.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with being famous, especially if you're doing it for the right reasons, like President Trump. I mean, he already was famous. He didn't need extra.
Oh, exactly.
And then
His headache.
and then he went, he was okay. So I could see that if he ran and won and as the 45th president, did all these great things, and then the lawfare and all these terrible things happened.
Right.
If he was in it for just the fame, he would have dropped out. He said, okay, that was cool. Let me go shake, Barack's hand and George Bush's hand. No, he doesn't. He's not that guy.
Mm-hmm.
He ran again, and he did it for the country. I mean, that's just awesome.
And nearly lost his life as a result. Besides the fake impeachments and all of the lawfare and the investigations and the harassment against him and his family. And as he said, too, Don Jr. and Eric, probably the most subpoenaed people in history at this point, trying to devalue the wonderful things that their company has done for the American people and for the world, and just making these made-up cases, this lawfare, to go after them for no reason because they're afraid of the reforms that they're bringing to the country. And I thought about it yesterday, 3 former Democrats at the swearing in of Tulsi Gabbard to being DNI. Of course, she was a Democrat. Pam Bondi was once a Democrat. President.
So if you're just tuning in, just a quick update. We're waiting for President Trump's press conference, then RFK to be sworn in. So it's a very, very exciting day, to say the least. Raz and Taz says, CobraCast, the most trusted source for news, and I'm not joking. If that's the case, we're all fucked. Just saying. If CobraCast is the most trusted source for news, we're in trouble. But I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys being here. Spider Unlimited says McConnell looks like an owl plate with MS. Good Lord. Stephen DeLeon says this is for Jeremy's eyebrow fund. So again, everybody's kind of waiting right now. We still don't have any updates, so we're just waiting patiently for Trump. And again, he's a little busy, so it's okay. But again, we did get an upgrade for HHS. We went from a mentally deranged, overweight, ugly dude that thinks he's a chick to an absolute Chad who knows what the fuck is going on. That is symbolic of everything. Like, this is symbolic of what the Biden administration was to what the Trump administration is. This is very symbolic. This right here puts it in perspective. So there you go. Imagine having this weirdo in charge of HHS. Are you kidding me right now? Good Lord. What a disaster. I want to save this Michael Jackson, Donald Trump stuff because I don't think a lot of people are aware of that. Danky, if you're watching, you got to put that on Geeks or on D-Day Cobra clips because I don't think enough people know that Donald Trump was actually like an advocate for Michael Jackson's innocence a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Back when the Democrats all loved Donald Trump, pretty much. There was a report. Let me see. There was a report earlier that Reuters actually took, was it $9 million? Let's see. And Trump called them out on it. See if I can find this story really quickly. Right here. Yep. Here we go. Reuters. So this Doge looks like radical left Reuters was paid $9 million by the Department of Defense to study large social deception. Give back the money now. And then Elon says Reuters received far more money than this from U.S. government organizations. So this is crazy. This is only the beginning. Can you imagine all the shit that they have hidden that it's going to take time to find out? Good Lord, man. Unbelievable. Nothing on Trump yet. And then I saw this one. Let me see. Right here. Right here.
A bitch over Elon Musk. Have you been crying like a bitch over Elon Musk? Do you find yourself sobbing at the thought of your taxpayer-funded transgender basket weaving club losing its funding? You may be suffering from a common condition known as libtardism-induced meltdown. But don't worry, there's help. Introducing Grow-A-Pair, the revolutionary prescription solution designed to help you accept reality. With just one dose a day, you'll start to understand that tax dollars aren't meant for gender numeral electric vehicle startups in Vietnam. After taking Grow-A-Pair, you may notice life-changing improvements, such as smaller man boobs, the ability to fund your own transgender basket weaving without relying on Uncle Sam, and a newfound indifference to the defunding of the U.S. Department of Slope Sidewalk Studies. Grow-A-Pair won't solve all your problems, but it can help you stop fixating on who's going to pay for DEI pudding packs in Cambodia.
Side effects may include dry mouth, increased common sense, employment, smaller man boobs, and lower taxes.
Ask your doctor if Grow-A-Pair is right for you, because adulting is hard, but it doesn't have to be. You've been crying like a bitch over...
I love that it starts out with her as it says that right there. Absolutely fantastic. Now, I did see this other meme, and I don't know if this is meant to be like disrespectful towards the Elon or not, but I found it to be pretty funny, and I think Elon would probably laugh about it too. So I saw this one. If this is meant to be disrespectful towards Elon, you lost, because I think it's funny as shit. I think it's funny. So I don't know what the intent behind it was. It got 138,000 likes. So yes, we'll see. Let me see. We got that one. Let me see. Chad Summer says, it truly is Cobra ever. What? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Everything's good. Josh L says, did you see Mike Benz on Rogan? Yeah, people are, you're the second person that's mentioned that. So I guess I'm going to have to check that one out. Pat Patriot says, this is the best news I could have gotten on my lunch break. I'll catch the rest later. Hey, brother, thank you. Shout out to the working man. Shout out to the working man. Swig of water for the working man. We respect the working man around here. Stephen DeLeon says, AOC looks like Anna Navarro now. Fat. God, Anna Navarro is so annoying, dude. She's got to be one of the most annoying people in all of media. All right, what's the update?
As well, but we'll see what happens. You know, we're not going to get ahead of ourselves, but Doge is going to look into that as well at the military. President Trump saying the government has not functioned properly in many years. And then, of course, on Truth Social, he would say a lot of things about the billions of dollars of fraud and waste and abuse has already been found in the investigation of our incompetently run government. So, yeah, we're seeing just from the financial sector alone. And I'm to be honest with you, I'm surprising myself in some of the commentary here is because I've always been straight up just about the First Amendment, like our constitutional rights. But now that we have President Trump in office and now that we have great cabinet leaders, it's not as much of a concern at this point. We still have to be smart, though, because there are other nations that do want to have that control over the people and make them do what they want them to do and all that crap.
Right.
But it's great to be able to be free of that kind of thought now.
Yes.
And now to see the next levels of what the president's doing with his team.
Right. It's a trust but verify. And this administration really bringing the power back to you, the American people. And that's why I'll call him the people's president and the federalist president, because he believes in the Bill of Rights so much so that you sometimes forget about the 10th Amendment, states' rights. I mean, the fact that you have Linda McMahon being questioned now at the Health and Labor Pension Subcommittee here, or actually full committee hearing regarding health and education, labor, and pensions.
I'm going to make a prediction. I think Trump is going to get Vince McMahon back into the public eye in the next several years. I'm telling you, it's a hunch. I just think Trump's going to get Vince McMahon back in the public eye. Just watch. Just watch. I'm just telling you. Yep. He'll get Vince. No, not like within his cabinet or anything like that. But Trump and Vince are friends. They are legitimate friends. And there's been reports that Vince has talked to Trump since he got back into the White House. Or on the other hand, you could say there's no chance in hell that happens. No chance in hell. I know Vince has a ton of legal shit going on right now. No chance in hell. Oh, Vince is a fucking crazy person. I know that. Vince is an absolute psychopath. They're not showing Trump live.
Joining us or haven't been staying tuned with us here at RSBN Live. Charlie Kirk on Truth Social the other day saying, when we the people voted for President Trump, we voted for Elon Musk and Doge, RFK Jr. and Make America Healthy Again.
I don't see him.
Kash Patel, Tulsi Gabbard, Pete Hegseth. We, the people, or we, it says here, voted for a robust chief executive of the country and his team, not a deep state bureaucracy guarded by legacy media, rogue intel agencies, and activist judges. This is one of the best
I'm looking, I don't
posts
see him
I've ever
anywhere.
seen from Charlie Kirk. Obviously, he has a lot of great posts out there, but that is exactly what's going on.
100%. It really is.
Right side's not going to miss Trump live. They're not going to.
Upcoming with President Trump waiting to hold a press conference soon at the White House here, 8 minutes to 2 o'clock on the East Coast. It's still morning on that golden coast of California.
Exactly. Let's go to freetrumpbook.com, another great sponsor here at the network. As soon as we see that live feed start, we'll go there live. But Mike Huckabee, of course, the U.S. ambassador to Israel, great person, a great former governor of Arkansas.
Everybody's saying switch news channels. I'm literally looking at every channel, and there's nobody live right now covering Trump. Like, there's a lot that are waiting and holding out, but there's nobody that's actually got him live right now. So we're good. This is the one to stay on. All right, here we go. Oh, I see. So they often go and do this early. Like, I've seen this before where we're going to get the live feed here in just a minute. Margot Martin typically puts out a tweet that shows this. It goes live a little early, and then we cut into it. There's like a delay. This has happened the last time he was at the Oval Office doing this. So we're going to be cutting in here any minute now.
2 years with their school boards, but freetrumpbook.com sets the record straight, answers the questions as to why did President Trump run for office in the
Yeah, we don't care about your advertisement. See, here's what I'm talking about. So here's Margot Martin. She uploads a video of it, but there's no live feed yet.
We will charge them no more, no less. In other words, they charge us a tax or tariff, and we charge them the exact same tax or tariff. Very simple. Nobody knows what that number is unless you go by the individual country. You can see what it is if you go to the individual country and you look at what they're charging us. In almost all cases, they're charging us vastly more than we charge them, but those days are over.
You say, yeah, that's what you saw. Yeah, this happened last time he did this, where you started to see a couple. It was back when he signed the JFK files. There was a video of it early on his social media team, but the feed doesn't cut in until a little bit after. So that's what's going on. But yeah, I know what you guys, I know what you mean by that. Yeah, because I'm looking at Fox News right now. Fox News is not live. Right Side's not live. Fox Now is not live. So we're just waiting. The feed should kick in here in any minute now.
Also on Breaking 911. So again, we'll be airing that as soon as possible. Also, if we could take a live look at the White House. Also, Director, do we have any word on the replay back to us so we can show it to the people that are tuning in, of course, to watch this press conference at 1:55 now Eastern time. Again, later today as well, the East Room press conference with the Prime Minister of India, Modi. That'll happen here on the network as well. So if we can get any guidance from our producers and directors, that'd be great. In the meantime, we're going to hold down the fort until that replay is ready to go here on the network.
Yes, an exciting time.
Matt, I always forget how to say his name, Tiabi. Every time a Democratic member described digital censorship as a joke or non-issue, I scratched a notation. By the end, I had a notebook page full of entries. Bullshit, distractions, wasting time induces insomnia. Yeah, he was the one that was involved with like the Twitter files and everything like that when Elon first took over Twitter and we got the Twitter files. I do remember that. Thank you for the 20, Chad. Appreciate that. Let's see what they're saying.
In the form of combating the Mexican cartels with finances as well, because we know hundreds of thousands have died from fentanyl poisoning. We think about Laken Riley, pray for her family and for her rest on a regular basis. President Trump signing into law the Laken Riley Act. That was the first bill he did sign, flanked by family members and Congressman Mike Collins of Georgia, who got that through the House.
Aren't we all,
Katie
Blast
Britt
Radius?
of the
Aren't we
Senate,
all?
who got that in a bipartisan fashion done with 12 additional Democrat senators for their version of that bill. So many people who have been harmed by illegal migration in the last several years, and President Trump really getting to the bottom of it and securing that border, and that will continue to be done on a daily basis.
Exactly, and that's the thing. There's 4,100 service members of the military that are down at the southern border right now.
That's it. Trump's playing Mario Kart right now. That's what I'd be doing if I was in the White House. I'd just be chilling, playing some Mario Kart. Like Trump, if you could sign the executive order and have Nintendo send me a copy of Mario Kart 9 early, that's how we make America great again. All right. Just get me a copy of Mario Kart 9 early. We're done. That would be the most perfect thing ever. I would love that.
Inside Canada, and bringing down the fentanyl and other things that are going on there. That according to the president and the White House. So, and we know that the Mexican drug cartel is now identified by the president as a terrorist organization. So that is at the same level of, in the sense of under the same umbrella of ISIS and Hamas.
So
and Hezbollah
selfish,
and
Jeremy.
others. So that's quite interesting, that move there. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. But it is really, really great to see our Army, our Marines, National Guard, and some even from the state police or the state of Texas.
All right, sir. A lot of you think it's going to happen right at 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern. So I guess we're going to find out here in just a minute. He already got a switch too early. Man, the perks of being the president, getting the switch too early. Clovis 5 says, have you seen Maxine Waters say, how will we know what Doge has on us? LOL, complete mask off moment. I haven't seen that in particular, but that's pretty funny. Horrible person, Maxine Waters. A absolute terrible person. And then, so if you're tuning in, Trump is going to be going live here in any minute now. And then also going to be swearing in RFK Jr. momentarily as well, from what I understand.
Trail. I was joking, I think it was election night, with Robert and Christina Loren, who are here, talking about they had millions of miles of airline points because they traveled to so many states covering the campaign trail, as did many at the network. And it was great to see that, because we interviewed we the people.
Oh yes.
It was all about all of us together. You know, it wasn't a separation between us and people. We're all in this thing together. And it was awesome to hear all of the talking points from the actual citizens of our nation. And that's what is cool to see, really, that shift. Yeah, I can even sense it in my mind, just that shift of going from the government bureaucracy and too much government to back to we the people, of, by, and for the people. As yesterday, of course, Abraham Lincoln's birthday, and saying that at the Gettysburg Address, that the people that died, the soldiers, they didn't die in vain.
Right.
They didn't die in vain to keep this country together and to keep the Constitution as the law of the land. And that's what I think is one of the main things we love about the president, is that he is not forgetting our country, the Constitution, and our God. It's 2:00. For Robert McNeely, I'm Matthew Alvarez. We'll be right back as soon as we get that live feed into the White House. Whether it's a replay or not, we're still going to give it to you. As soon as we get it, it's 2:00. We'll be right back.
I don't know why we're not getting the feed. This is very strange. So this is the Fox News one right here. Just don't understand why we're not getting the feed. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So, I don't know why it wouldn't be live. I don't know why there's a delay, but we are waiting. So that's what we're doing right now. Trump's White House seems to be always busy. Everyone on the go constantly. This is true. They certainly are. And I mean, that's what we voted for. We voted for somebody to get in there and get it done. That's what we want. That's what we're getting. Wait, a leftist lunatic here. Hang on. Leftist lunatic interrupts Linda McMahon's confirmation hearing.
Very good. Let me ask you about
the senator will suspend. The committee will come to order. Capitol Police are asked to remove the individual from the hearing room.
Get him the fuck out!
Members of the audience are reminded that disruptions will not be permitted while the committee conducts it.
Very good.
It's just like Attitude Era, baby. Let's go. She should have said, Linda McMahon should have said, deport him immediately. Deport him immediately.
Individual from the hearing room. Members of the audience are reminded that disruptions will not be permitted.
Deport immediately. Get him out. That's what it's all about. Just get him out. Get him out. We don't want him here. He's garbage. Okay. Refresh this. Since right side is on since right side is taking a break. Okay, we're waiting to see if Fox News is going to cut in. Everybody's live waiting for this. Honestly, they should have just left him in there and let him scream. Like, what do these idiots expect? You know? Ilhan Omar should have been the representative of Alabama. Shorty Short says Matt Taibbi. Retardo says Maxine Waters reminds me of California raisins. Oof. Okay, what is right side saying?
Looking forward to that feed. Also, it looks like the president will participate in the swearing-in ceremony for the Secretary of Health and Human Services, RFK Jr. That is going to be at the Oval Office. And then from there, the president will meet with the Prime Minister Modi of India. So 3 items that we're looking at here. The question is, and we have to remember this, I was saying to Robert kind of jokingly, remember when we covered all the rallies and it was live and we'd have commentary, whether here at the studio or out there in the field, interviewing people. And if the president was scheduled to speak at 3 o'clock, sometimes it was 4:30. So it's similar to that, what we're seeing right now, just covering the president over the past 3 weeks straight here at the network, is sometimes it is later than the time that is announced. So it's just all of us have to stay patient together as we cover the White House, because at the end of the day, he's not going to cater to us at the time of whatever time it is that it's supposed to happen. If he's got something to take care of, whether it's talking to cabinet members, talking to staff, at the end of the day, we have to just obviously wait until it actually happens. So thanks for your patience. Trust me, I want to be at that press conference just like you do too, but it's not there yet. And we'll send it to you as soon as we get it. But also, how cool will it be when we see RFK Jr. being sworn in? President Trump will participate in that. And then we'll also be able to have the footage of the Prime Minister of India in that press conference. And also when they talk in the Oval Office. So we have a lot of coverage, a lot of live coverage, and some recorded, because that's just the way it's fed in, as you take a live look at the U.S. Capitol building right now.
Which so much has happened there today. The Brooke Rollins vote to head the USDA, of course, RFK Jr. to head DHS, and Howard Lutnick, who we saw some of the video coming in from the White House. He is with President Trump in the Oval currently, and there will be a cloture vote for his nomination to go to that final vote to the floor, and also for Kelly Loeffler for Small Business Administrator. And what a wonderful time for this country, including Kash Patel.
Yeah.
The 1210 party line vote. He is out of committee, out of the judiciary, which was, I think, the biggest hurdle in a lot of senses, given the way the Democrats were just trying to eviscerate his reputation and saying the most terrible things about him, including ranking member Dick Durbin. But I'll just mention what Chairman Grassley had said, the president pro tempore of the United States Senate and Chair.
SBZ says mainstream media are not live because they tried getting poached by the most super chatted. They're tired of getting poached by the most super chatted channel on the planet. Rusty says Oval Office press cons are always on a tape delay. Booming Bob says, Jeremy, they pre-record the briefings. Pay attention to your mods. Mod lives matter. Well, I know they do pre-record it. My question am I asking is, why do they pre-record them? I know that they are pre-recorded. Let's see, because the last one they did was pre-recorded. Cody Gray, Maxine Waters. What's up, Cody? Maxine Waters looks like a forest fire cadaver. Credit to the late Greg, is it Giraldo's roast of Flavor Flav for that insult. Freaking Flavor. Is Flavor Flav, how old is Flavor Flav now? Holy crap. That's a name I have not heard in a long time. I remember when he had like that reality TV show on, was it VH1? Flavor Flav. How old is Flavor Flav now? Holy crap. 70, 50. He's got to be more than 50. He's got to be more than 50. Flavor freaking Flav. He's still alive. Yeah. The Singing Bush says the timeline were if Geeks and Gamers or Cobra Cast held a meet and greet versus George Clooney, they could actually win. Could you imagine that 10 to 15 years ago? No, that is freaking crazy. No, I still can't comprehend it now. I mean, I've looked at like, I remember watching like, I remember watching the NWO, with like Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. And now I sit there and I watch Kevin Nash's YouTube channel, and it makes me like, it would violate terms of service if I was to say what listening to Kevin Nash makes me want to do, because it is the most painful experience of all time to listen to Kevin Nash talk on YouTube. He is painful, and he says absolutely nothing. He says absolutely nothing. If anybody here watches Kevin Nash, it is the most painful experience that, honestly, they should use that. They should use that to torture terrorists. Just sit there and have to listen to Kevin Nash talk. I'm like, how is this possible? This guy used to be the coolest guy ever, and now it's like I can't even deal with him.
Up to 1 year in prison, if not more, pending a case before a jury of your peers or a judge. And
I love Jim Cornette's show. Jim Cornette's great, even though he's got TDS. Jim Cornette is entertaining as hell. Taker has a good podcast. Yes, he does.
The word, because we know how anti-Second Amendment
Flavor Flav is 65 years old.
But President Clinton mentioning that if they would have vetted the person who raped and murdered Laken Riley, this wouldn't even be a talking point. I mean, the preventable crime that took place over the course of the last 4 years. So sad that these families
expecting the glass to break during Linda's hearing today.
They don't have their loved ones at the table because of fentanyl or because of the actions of very violent migrants, and many of them are now gone, thanks be to God. In Guantanamo,
I think the numbers are on Cash's side, Carl. I think so. And it sounds like the numbers are pretty good. It may be very close. He may need a tiebreaker, but Cash, it seems like Cash is looking pretty good to be confirmed. So, Piano Dean says, I keep waiting to hear Elon try to say exposing all this government waste and fraud isn't rocket science. But even if it were, I'd know all about that. What's up, Piano Dean in the house?
RFK Jr. And then later, the president will meet with the Prime Minister of the Republic of India, Narendra Modi, of course. They'll have a bilateral meeting together, and then there'll be a press conference following that. Now, there are specific times on this email, but at the end of the day, the times will not be reflecting what's happening because it's already 2:10 p.m. So what we're doing is we're going to have to flow with it here. You're going to have to be patient with us, as we are obviously wanting to show you every ounce of live feeds or replays from inside the Beltway there. And we will show that to you, whether it's right here on the live channel, RSBN Live. We can also upload it on Rumble and YouTube, but we would only do that when we're not live here, if you follow what I'm saying. So we'll only upload those various things that I just talked about to Rumble and YouTube and other places if for some reason we're not live right here at the desk. But it's 2:11, and I like Robert McNeely, so we're going to be good.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Yeah, we actually really love working together, if you can't tell. So that helps a moment, to get through the big hours of all the breaking news coming out of the Beltway for you, the American people. And a programming note, if you're just joining us, that's what we are here at Right Side Broadcasting Network. You may be familiar.
We've got what the tariffs plan is right here from President Trump. So I guess this is what we're going to go to, the video feed that we're going to go to. This is the information that we're going to get right here for the executive orders that he's going to be signing. So I have to imagine that this feed is about to kick in any minute now, considering that it is now apparently done. And then the swearing in of RFK Jr. is going to be happening right after. So we'll keep this feed up to make sure we don't miss the live feed going in there.
I think we can,
which is tomorrow,
make this breaking news at 2:12 in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. We'll have the one you've been waiting for. She'll be at CPAC. It's been a little bit of time away, but we're excited to have, again, Ashley Brassfield live from the Gulf of America. Looking forward to her coverage, and she'll talk a little bit about what she's excited about regarding CPAC coming up.
Exactly. So that's tomorrow on RSBN Live. We'll be going to the Gulf of America. almost jealous of the live reporting that she's going to be able to do down there, because it's going to be cool. You know, just put your feet in the water and say, I'm in the Gulf of America.
Right. It's going to be a beautiful day down. The forecast looks very nice in the Panhandle. So excited to have Ashley back on, and excited to work with her and Christina next week in beautiful National Harbor, Maryland for CPAC. That's going to be something not to be missed. And we hope those viewing are actually attending as well. It's a great homecoming for the conservative movement.
Exactly. So it's 2:13.
I'm ready to go to the Gulf of America. I have not been since the official naming. So the Gulf of America, it just sounds right. It just feels right. You know, like it just works. There's no way you can deny it. Kevin Cron says, do you know what movie Minority Home will stream tonight on Thursday night, movie night on Locals? I don't, but I could probably find out. I don't know what she's streaming tonight. I know Krista and her are going to be there tonight. But I don't know. I can try to find out, though. It sounds right, doesn't it?
Reciprocal trade press conference with Howard Lutnick, the Department of Commerce Secretary, there with him. He'll also participate in a swearing-in ceremony for RFK Jr. And then the president will
is it the Princess Bride? Is that what it is?
Prime Minister of Israel.
Princess
I'm sorry,
Bride.
the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi. And then there will be a press conference a bit later in the East.
I don't know if
Eastern
that's it,
White House.
but
So all of those items of live coverage and replays, we're going to have as much as we can right here on RSBN Live. And if not, for some reason, we will also post it on Rumble, on YouTube. So you can definitely check it out. And sometimes on Truth Social and on X. So there's a lot of ways to catch up with us, and our app as well, the RSBN app. So a lot going on there. And you know, making a mistake there saying the Prime Minister of Israel, it's
we got that one. So we're live on Rumble. We're live on YouTube. We have over 4,000 people here. Thank you guys for being here and hanging out on what some are calling the single most trusted source for news in the entire world. I don't necessarily buy that. I think that speaks volumes to how bad the mainstream coverage is out there. But CobraCast, the most trusted name in news. There we go, right there. Rumble beat us again, damn it. No, Rumble has 330 people over there, and YouTube has 3,800 people here. So collectively, we're over 4,000. So, and then we're live on Locals as well. Holy crap. What is this picture that Eric K just posted on Locals? Yeesh. Holy crap. That is horrible. I apologize in advance, chat. I apologize. Woo! That's pretty rough.
To give you all the information you need through this free gold guide as well. Now, all you have to do is go to freegoldguide.com and then call.
All right, I'm going to keep, I don't want to keep letting them yap while we're waiting. Chat went a little crazy for that one. So, got that one. Okay. The Senate just approved the final procedural hurdle for confirmation of Howard Lutnick to become Trump's Commerce Secretary. So there we go, 52-45. We've got this from Linda McMahon right here as well.
The bottom line is because it's not working. Department of Education was set up in 1980, and since that time we have spent almost $1 trillion, and we have watched our performance scores continue to go down. I do believe that it is a responsibility to make sure that our children do have equal access to excellent education. I think that that is best handled at the state level, closest to the states, working with state administrators, teachers, parents who should have input into their curriculum.
And yes, that is Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. And Shane O'Mac is there as well. I actually tweeted that out right here. Right here. Shane O'Mac, Triple H, and Stephanie are sitting behind Linda McMahon. The Attitude Era is here. And then, of course, There's one person missing, and that would be Do-Rag Vince. We just need, like, Do-Rag Vince. Vince is the one that made all of this happen. Vince made it all happen. Where's Vince? We need Vince. Vince deserves to be there. Oh, man. It would be the craziest pop in wrestling history if Vince showed up on Monday Night Raw to No Chance in Hell. It would be the craziest pop ever. Never going to happen, though. Never going to happen. WWE's too political now, too corporate and all that, and he has no power, which is... Listen, you can say whatever you want about Vince McMahon, but he built all of that. Single-handedly, he built all of that and made millionaires out of so many people and made people world famous. And everybody knew how Vince was, and none of them had a problem with it until, of course, they were forced to have a problem with it. They all knew how Vince was, and they had no problem benefiting from it. NDI says, you are the most trusted source 100%. Oh, my God. We're all screwed. Southeastern Kaiju says, chat is owed a Sydney Sweeney gift now, Jeremy. You mean like that? You mean like that? Is that what you're talking about? I think that will suffice. There you go. All right. JB24 says, CTV News says that is it California Canadian flag spiked as people no longer see it as a far-right freedom convoy symbol of hate, but as a symbol of unity and defiance of Trump. Must be Canadian. Okay. Interesting. Let me see. Somebody said hide your chest. Geez. Are you talking about the Sydney Sweeney? Are you talking about that? You want her to hide her chest? What? Why would you want her to hide her chest? We respect women around here, okay? We respect women around here. Josh316 says, we need Do-Rag Jeremy. Do-Rag Jeremy. Dan says, I love Vince, but wouldn't let him take a dump on my head. Listen, I mean, I'm not saying Vince is innocent. I'm just saying, like, am I understanding this properly? But the girl in question involved with the Vince McMahon thing, by the way, if you remember, like, what's her name? Janelle, whatever. What's her name? Janelle Grant, right? Okay. Yeah, okay. So I just want everybody to understand this, okay? This picture that they used for Janelle Grant, that's not her currently. Like, she's like 20-something or 30-something years older or something like that. They're intentionally using like an innocent looking picture to strike an emotion of like, ooh, Vince McMahon was preying on this innocent looking girl. That's not what, like, she's a lot older when all of this happened. It's meant to make you have an emotion. Now, I don't know. Like, if Vince did something terrible, fine, lock him up and throw him away. But why did she take a payoff? Because she did take a payoff, and then apparently the payments stopped. Why did you take a payoff if Vince is so terrible? If you have all of this evidence against Vince, why did you take a payoff? Just saying. Just saying. And all I know is if Vince McMahon wasn't a Trump supporter, we probably would have never heard about this. If Vince McMahon was a friend to the Clintons and the Obamas, we would have never heard about this. That's the reality of the situation right there. Let's see here. All right, why is this taking so?
Release as well, very diplomatic, but saying he was in this Russian hospital where experiments happened. He had 400 injections himself over the course of time. You know, it gives me goosebumps thinking, what did they inject an American citizen with? Those natural questions that come about, but he looked good. And President Trump saying,
let's see. Hide her chest. Shit. Motorboat coming. What's up, Ryan? Kentucky Tim for $49.99. So much winning. Kennedy in Tulsa and cash any day. Oh, yeah. Always more Sweeney and Anna Paulina. Welcome to Hail the 199 Fig. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. $49.99. Shadow Sand says, ladies, you can have eye candy if you pay for it. Do-Rag Bob Iger says, if the WWE turned their back on the do-rag, big mistake. Exactly. SBZ is still waiting for that. Is that Stone Cold with a steel chair on Linda McMahon hearing? I know. Us wrestling fans can't look past any of that shit. Us wrestling fans can't look past any of it. Waiting for somebody to come cash in Money in the Bank.
From Florida, also in attendance to welcome them. Sadly, no Democrats were in the diplomatic room to say hello. It would have been nice to have that, but I'm sure they were busier doing other things.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Complaining.
Yeah, complaining and yelling outside at various press conferences that Doge is this and that, and President Trump and Elon Musk. And that ship has sailed. The people are not really listening. Even Democrat, liberals
cares.
across the country that are not woke and radical like some of these leaders are. I
want to show this as this is going around because William Shatner tweeted it out. Where the hell did it go? William Shatner tweeted this one out right here. For those Star Wars fans who are trying to tell me Disney ruined everything, I assume you were referring to Mara Jade. Hamill actually ruined it for you when he revealed Luke was gay. Mara being struck from Star Wars canon was part. See, exactly. But look, this is from 2016 is the point I want to make here. Mark Hamill said this in 2016. I've been telling you for years that Mark Hamill is a terrible human being and a horrible person. And many people wanted to say that Mark Hamill, I feel so bad for Mark Hamill because look what Ryan Johnson did. Mark Hamill's a terrible person. Mark Hamill's the worst of the worst of what Hollywood has. He's a has-been. He's a never was, because Mark Hamill is not a movie star. He's had one iconic role, and then he's had another iconic role in a much smaller capacity as the voice of the Joker. Mark Hamill is not a movie star. Mark Hamill is a piece of shit who is deranged and who's lost his mind over President Trump. He hates your guts if you disagree with his politics. That's who Mark Hamill is. That's who he's always been. He's never going to change. He was never a good guy. I know that many people looked at him because he's your childhood hero in the Star Wars movies, and that's fine. He was paid to pretend to be somebody he's not. Mark Hamill is a terrible person. The sooner everyone is willing to accept that, the better off everyone will be. That simple. All right, back to this. That
was awesome to meet him.
American icon.
He was in Alabama, and he was talking about the real American beer, his product that he's selling. But it was great to run into Hulk and to have him say great things about President Trump, and also Right Side Broadcasting Network saying that we are not going with the mainstream narrative, the false narrative of what's happening.
Right.
And it was great to see that. So if you really want to see that video, you're going to have to go all the way to @Matthew Alvarez on the Truth Social page. And hopefully your thumb isn't tired because you got to scroll, but it's in there and you can watch it.
I might go look today and I'll put up to the
there you
top
go.
of
Maybe
mine
we'll repost it
do
or
a
something.
retweet.
Because you actually quoted.
So we're still waiting currently for President Trump. Fantastic Friends Doc says, good day and hail. Is anyone surprised that after Trump and Netanyahu met to discuss ceasefire in Israel-Palestine conflict, the Hamas assholes breaking that ceasefire by firing a rocket but hit their own? I didn't even hear about that one. I didn't even hear about that one, but I mean, again, my whole thing is like, I know Trump's like trying to bring peace to all of that. Like, you're not going to bring peace to the Middle East. This is who they are. This is who they are. So you're never going to make this area peaceful. It's just not going to happen. John Papa Sergio says, when Undertaker tombstone Linda. Shorty Short says, I can't imagine putting other women in danger by not filing a police report or speaking out. Makes me doubt the accusers if they just take the money. That's where I look at it. Jason Ingram says, look, I always knew Kirk could beat Luke, but this proves it. Very true. Pee-wee Reincarnated says, Mark Hamill is a super batch, not a superstar. Forest of the Tree says, have you seen Trump and Elon go to Mars? Anime opening the chat, and Krista may enjoy in the interim. I haven't. Can somebody tag me in that? Let me see here. Got that one saved. So if you're just tuning in, I don't know if we're going to get the live feed for RFK swearing in or if that's going to be recorded as well. That one, okay. I'm keeping my eye on everything right now to make sure. Oh, no. There's so many memes right now. Mr. Beast news. There. Oh, here we go. Not. He's not live, but here we go. You love to see it. You love to see it.
Hope and overcoming challenges through his faith in Jesus, but also just the fact that he's so conservative on the right side of history. So it's awesome to partner with Mike, as he is a great sponsor, of course, with MyPillow here at the network. All right, it's 2:30 Eastern time, bottom of the hour. Thanks for streaming with us live as we are straight up rolling with it here, guys. We have no teleprompter. Glad sometimes not to have a prompter because it's sometimes can be very formulaic and whatever, but we're definitely just sharing with you our commentary on the various things that have happened at the White House over the past. Now we're entering the fourth week now, and we've seen already this is going to be the fourth world leader a little bit later today.
Look at that. Look at that. That is spotted in New York. Holy shit. This is the mindset. They're doing the same thing to Elon that they did to Trump. All of this anti-Elon rhetoric, this is the mindset. This is what got assassination attempts on President Trump, and the same thing is happening to Elon Musk. Fucking insane. Holy shit. This is how it happens. These Democrats have just, what have they been doing for the past month? Been crying about Elon, been saying he's the most dangerous man in the world, been saying all of these things, all of these lies, and this is the result right here. Fucking insane. God, they're disgusting, man. Absolutely disgusting. Freaks. That's the left for you right now. There's got to be some video evidence or something. Right here, look at here. Nancy Mace announces she's filing a motion to censure Representative Robert Garcia from promoting the use of actual weapons against Elon Musk.
For us to bring actual weapons to this bar fight. This is an actual fight for democracy, for the future of this country. And it's important to push back on the chairperson of this committee. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene talks about having decorum, about bipartisanship. This is the person that lies more than anybody else in the entire Congress. And so if she is going to make a mockery of hearings, I want to make sure that us as Democrats are bringing that same level of energy. And of course, after those comments, we went into exactly what Elon Musk is trying to do, dismantling the Department of Labor, dismantling the Department of Education.
Yeah, y'all talk about me not having eyebrows. This motherfucker's got like 25 different people's eyebrows. Look, it's caked on. Like, what? What? How is this even possible? Looks like spider legs.
Dismantling all of our consumer protection agencies. And so it's all important, but it's also important to get the attention of the American public and call Elon Musk out for what he is, and to make people know that Marjorie Taylor Greene is not a serious legislator and she shouldn't be treated as such. It's for us to bring actual weapons to this bar fight.
Holy crap. All right. So yes, they need to, I'm hoping that the Trump administration continues to hold them accountable for their language. The things they're saying, the narratives they're pushing, it's leading to that type of stuff right there. Again, spotted in New York right there. Amazing how none of this happened when Elon was a friend of the Democrats. It's amazing how none of this happened then. Yet here we are with these freaks. Good Lord, man. Dangerous stuff. Dangerous stuff, dangerous people. Okay, let's see here. I'm still looking for any updates. Nothing on Trump yet. It's weird that this is taking so long. Look at this right here. First official HHS raid. So, man, who you fooling, dude? Trump eats most of that food right there, okay? So, yeah, RFK probably going to take all of it, but Trump eats most of that food, okay? Let's be real. Let's be real, all right? You know Trump eats at least half of that shit, okay? Oh, man. I love that Trump was feeding him like McDonald's on the plane. You love it.
Qualifications of Kash Patel, but that he's been a victim of the deep state as well. So Senator Durbin, my goodness, the ranking member, wow, he paints a picture nicely. If you weren't paying attention to what's actually happening, you might believe the guy.
Exactly.
You know, it's remarkable to watch.
And exactly, speaking of believing things, it's the woke mind virus that is starting to get more exposed throughout this country. And the more people that see it and wake up, Democrats, liberals, and even some Republicans, I guess, the more we are aware and more we are free and free thinkers. And the more we realize.
All right, so we've got people making their way into the White House there from that shot. So I don't know. We're just in a holding pattern right now.
Report from TennCare, which is our Medicaid program in Tennessee. And I was concerned when I saw a number that TennCare had spent $90 million in 2024 alone on ADHD. This was 417,000 of our children. And $90 million. To me, that is heartbreaking, what is happening there. So how will you prioritize oversight of prescribing practices while promoting alternative solutions such as counseling, behavioral therapies, community-based interventions for our youth?
Exactly, and that's the solution. 15% of American youth are now on Adderall or some other ADHD medication. Even higher percentages are on SSRIs and benzos. We are not just over-medicating our children, we're over-medicating our entire population. Half the pharmaceutical drugs on Earth are now sold here. 70% of the profits from pharmaceutical companies are from the United States, even though we only have 4.2% of the world's population. Not only that, but a recent study by Cochrane Collaboration founder Peter Ghosh found that pharmaceutical drugs are the third largest cause of death in our country after heart attacks and cancers. Oh, they're not making us healthier. We need community health initiatives. We need access to treatment. We need exercise. We need better food.
Okay, let me talk to you about one of those access points in treatment. And this highlights a problem we have in the federal Medicaid law. Since Medicaid's enactment, states have been prohibited from using Medicaid funds for care provided by institutions for mental disease. We refer to them as IMDs. These are psychiatric hospitals, residential treatment facilities with more.
So if you're tuning in, we are currently waiting. This is obviously back from the hearings, RFK. We're waiting for the video feed for President Trump, but I figured we could at least listen to this while we're waiting.
That is being treated, and it has perpetuated unequal coverage in mental health care. So if you're confirmed, when you're confirmed, will you commit to working with me on repealing this discriminatory exclusion and ensuring equal access to mental health care for Medicaid beneficiaries?
Yes, Senator.
Thank you so much. I've got a question on PBM reform, one on artificial intelligence in healthcare. In the interest of time, I will yield back. I look forward to seeing you help make us healthy again.
Thank you, Senator.
Manhattan,
Senator Lujan.
U.S. Here, let me mute this. So we got a breaking story of Manhattan U.S. attorney resigns after refusing orders to drop case against New York City Mayor Adams. That's from the AP. That broke 57 seconds ago. Manhattan U.S. attorney resigns after refusing orders to drop case against New York Mayor Adams. They're all breaking down right before our very eyes. They can't handle it. They can't handle that they are being held accountable. And it's glorious. I'm loving it so much. Let's see here.
That helped develop the HPV vaccine, which has the potential to eliminate over 95% of cervical cancer. NIH also funds a lot of jobs and grants, nearly 11,000 people in the state of Washington and over $1.2 billion worth of grants. So while I agree with you on healthy foods, I definitely am troubled by the medical research side of innovation and some of the things that you have said. In fact, this issue about laying off 600 employees at NIH, or giving the fact that, to quote, give infectious disease a break for 8 years. So we've had a chance to talk about this a little bit, but the most striking example of this is when COVID hit. And we were the first in the nation. We had the first case, and it really was the fast response by the University of Washington that really helped save lives. So I just want to know that, are you aware of how harmful these issues could be for public health? That public health in and of itself could be affected by these kind of anti-science views?
Senator, I have always been a science person, a pro-science person. I believe in evidence-based medicine and gold standard science. When I said, and I've explained this before you came in, that 600 people out of a population, out of a workforce of 91,000 is pretty typical. Last year alone, President Biden replaced 3,000 people at HHS and 700 at NIH. I want to say this. I said give infectious disease a break because that's been the principal preoccupation. Infectious disease, chronic disease is 92%, accounts for 92% of deaths in this country, and almost nothing is studied at NIH about the etiology of our chronic disease epidemic.
But right now,
the money is going to infectious disease.
But I get your point. It's an interesting point. The problem is we had to respond, and it's actually the Gates Foundation and a flu cohort that figured out what was wrong and that we had an outbreak of COVID that was going beyond the very first case. And so we had to build a very fast response. So I take this too. The University of Washington has conducted groundbreaking stem cell research on fetal tissue. To me, I know there's probably a lot of people that may not agree with this, but we're making regenerative heart tissue now at the University of Washington. So yes or no, do you commit to protecting stem cell research for scientific agencies if confirmed?
I will protect stem cell research. Stem cell research today can be done on umbilical cords, and you don't need fetal tissue.
You'll protect the laws that are on the books today and the research that's done.
My job is, Senator, to enforce the laws.
Okay, so I want to move to PBMs because PBMs are driving up drug prices. And one of the biggest things that we need to do here, I think, in a new administration is get a handle on everything that is driving up prices and lower them. The report found that PBMs generated $1.4 billion from spread pricing. That is where they are able to basically set the price, not reimburse pharmacies, and then pocket the.
Okay, let me catch a few of these super chats real quick. Free Men Die Free says only two types of people moan when their finger slips through the toilet paper: ATF agents and Mark Hamill. Oh, that's a good one. Pee-wee Reincarnated says there's a video of Maxine Waters saying we don't know what they have on us. I gotta find this. Somebody tag me in that one. Grant Potato says dude stole Jeremy's eyebrows. Sakuri says the irony is Trump is watching Cobra Cast right now. President Trump, you watching Cobra Cast right now? President Trump, if you're watching Cobra Cast right now, we just want you to know, keep kicking ass. And we are the #1 super chatted channel in the entire United States of America and in the universe. Maybe not quite, but we're almost there. But keep kicking ass and do us a favor. Get me an early copy of Mario Kart 9 for the Nintendo Switch 2. Appreciate that. Let's see. According to the New York Post, feds dropped the case against Vince. Really? Well, there was one thing that was dropped against Vince, but not the suit against, not the one of misconduct or whatever. I don't think that one was dropped. Garth Hughes says to think all of this wouldn't be happening and we'd be ignorant to this. Here we go.
What kind of trade and tariff relationship you would like to have with India, and what's the vision for India?
Yeah, India traditionally is just about the highest tariff country. They charge more tariffs than any other country. And I mean, we'll be talking about that, but again, whatever they charge us, we're charging them. So it works out very well. It's a beautiful, simple system. And we don't have to worry about, we're charging too much or too little. But traditionally, India is right at the top of the pack, pretty much. There are a couple of smaller countries that are actually more. But India is they charge tremendous tariffs. I remember when Harley Davidson couldn't sell their motorbikes into India because of the fact that the tax was so high, the tariff was so high. And Harley was forced to build, I guess they built, I don't know, that was a while ago, but I think they built a factory in India in order to avoid paying the tariffs. And that's what people can do with us. They can build a factory here, a plant or whatever it might be here. And that includes the medical, that includes cars, that includes chips and semiconductors. That includes everything. If you build here, you have no tariffs whatsoever. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think our country is going to be flooded with jobs.
What should consumers expect? Are prices going to go up short-term,
Well,
long-term?
not necessarily. I mean, not necessarily, but I'll tell you what will go up is jobs. The jobs will go up tremendously. We're going to have great jobs for everybody. This is something that should have been done many years ago. China did it. I mean, China did it at a level that probably nobody's ever seen before. If you manufactured a car, you couldn't send it into China. The tariff was so high. So everybody went and they built in China. It was no big secret. So we're going to see, but it's going to mean tremendous amounts of jobs. And ultimately, prices will stay the same, go down. But we're going to have a very dynamic country.
But if prices go up, Mr. President,
Yeah.
because of these tariffs,
Who do you think voters should hold responsible?
Oh, I think what's going to go up is jobs are going to go up, and prices could go up somewhat short term, but prices will also go down. And I think the farmers are going to be helped by this very much because product is being dumped into our country, and our farmers are getting hurt very badly by the last administration. The last administration hated our farmers, like at a level that I've never seen before. I think our farmers are going to be helped. Jobs are going to be helped, but our farmers are going to be helped. Our manufacturers are going to be helped. And again, if somebody wants to come in, including the car companies, if they want to come in and build car plants, they'll do it without tariffs, and therefore prices won't go up. There could be some short-term disturbance, but long-term, it's gonna make our country.
So Americans should prepare for some short-term pain.
No, you said that. I didn't say that.
Well, if the prices go up.
Let's see what happens. Nobody really knows what is going to happen, other than we know that jobs are going to be produced at levels that we haven't seen before. We know that we think interest rates are going to ultimately be coming down because of things that happen, and they go hand in hand with the tariffs. But we think that the prices for some things, many things, it could be all things, will go down. Ultimately, will go down.
Mr. President, the timeline here, sir, there's a period of time for a review, a report, 180 days. What's the earliest date that you think tariffs will actually be implemented in next?
Well, I would say maybe I'll ask Howard to answer that because he's going to be the one that's implementing. What do you think?
Our studies should be all complete by April 1st. So we'll hand the president the opportunity to start on April 2nd if he wants. So I think we'll be ready to go on April 1st, and we'll hand it to the president, and he'll make his decisions. But remember, if they drop their tariffs, prices for Americans are coming down. Our production's going up, and our costs are going down. Remember, it's a two-way street. That's why it's called reciprocal.
Have you spoken to any American CEOs directly about this? Are they calling you and asking
I've
for
spoken to many, and many love it. And they say this is going to be the thing that makes our country really prosperous again. And this is going to be what pays down to $36 trillion in debt and all the other things. And this is going to be, this is an amazing day. I think this is going to be a very big day and in a very positive way for our country. Yes, please.
Mr. President, you've talked
That's
about
Howard
the EU
Lutnick, everybody.
and your concerns with how the EU treats you. Do you have a number in mind on the European Union? Do you have an idea where that number is going to land?
Well, what they are now is they have a 20% VAT tax, which we're considering to be similar or the same as the tariff. Plus, they charge lots of fees. And, you know, they're doing something else. European Union's been very tough on our companies. They sued Apple. They sued Google. They sued Facebook. They sued many other companies, and they're American companies. And the kind of numbers are staggering. And the court system over there is not very good to our companies. If you know that Apple had to pay, I think, $16 billion in a penalty, a court case that was really shocking because most people thought they would have won that court case, people that watched it. So they've been very tough. Airlines have called me up and they said, could you help us with Europe because they're charging us so many different fees. I got a call from the head of American, United, and other airlines saying every time we land a plane, we get just absolutely killed by the European Union. And so they haven't been treated as good. You know, we think the European Union is wonderful. We all love Europe, love the countries in Europe, but European Union has been absolutely brutal on trade. Canada has been very bad to us on trade, but now Canada is going to have to start paying up. And Canada has been tough on the military because they have a very low military cost. They think we're going to, you know, protect them with our military, which is unfair. So Canada is going to be a very interesting situation because, you know, we just don't need their product. And yet they survive off the fact that we do 95% of what they do. And Canada is just absolutely, I say it, and sometimes people smile and sometimes they say, great idea, but Canada, their taxes would come down greatly. Their security would go up greatly. Amazing things happen to Canada. And really Canada in this particular, why would we pay $200 billion a year in subsidies to Canada when they're not a state? You do that for a state, but you don't do that for somebody else's country. So I think Canada is going to be a very serious contender to be our 51st state.
Going with Canada, there was obviously a delay in implementing
Well-
those tariffs.
I spoke to Governor Trudeau on numerous occasions, and we'll see what happens. But it just sets up so good for them. Look, the people would pay much less tax than they're paying right now. They'd have perfect military protection. They don't have any military protection because and you take a look at what's going on out there. You have Russian ships, you have China ships, you have Chinese ships, you have a lot of ships out there, and people are in danger. This is a different world today. It's a different world. They need our protection. Yes.
You mentioned Elon Musk and the efforts that he's undertaking with your
Yeah.
authority. You granted him new authority this week. Will he secure any new government contracts while he is working on DOGE?
No,
for
not
you?
if there's a conflict. If there's no conflict, I guess what difference does it make? But we won't let him do anything having to do with the
Are
conflict.
you personally checking to make sure there's no conflicts of interest?
Yeah, I am.
Shut the fuck up.
Sure. he does.
What these
First of
terrible
all,
questions?
He wouldn't do it. And second of all, we're not going to let him do anything where there's a conflict of interest.
Mr. President,
Your negotiations with the EU are there's discussions ongoing already. How quickly do you expect that you'll hear back from them about
I don't
any
know.
of these other
I can't tell
measures?
you. Yeah. The EU's been very nasty. It's just been, they haven't treated us properly. Look, we were great to them on NATO. Essentially, it's a similar group of countries. When I came in, my first term, I raised their fees. I mean, they were not paying. We were paying for, in my opinion, almost all of NATO. And now, I had the bad moment with the press where the press said, well, does this mean you won't protect them? And I said, I won't protect them if they're not paying. But because I said that, the Secretary General, as you know, said it was the greatest thing he's ever seen because the money came pouring in. But they don't treat us right on trade. They don't treat us right on the military either. I mean, if you look at Ukraine, we're in for probably $200 billion more than Europe. Why are we in for more
Thank
than
you, animating Andy.
We're in for more than Europe. I mean, think of it, or NATO. I mean, let's call it NATO because Canada's in. By the way, Canada is just about the lowest payer. Also, they shouldn't be. They are just about the lowest payer in NATO, in addition to everything else. So Canada's really been taken advantage of. And if they had to pay just something modestly fair, they wouldn't be able to succeed as a country. And that's why I feel they have to become a state. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. President. Is it your expectation that partners will offer major concessions and that you actually don't end up applying those tariffs?
No, I think that a lot of them will stay the same, and whatever they pay, I'll pay. I mean, we'll have a lot of them stay the same. I think some. Look, I heard as an example, EU lowered their tax on cars down to the exact same amount that they were much higher. They were approximately 5 times higher, and they lowered them down to the exact tax that we're charging. That took place like yesterday or the day before. Is that a correct statement? I think so. Yeah.
Do you expect any exemptions or waivers?
I don't expect that. No, this is a simple system. I mean, there wouldn't be any. And
this man
in
is
the case
in
of Apple, I
charge,
gave them
bro. He is in
a waiver,
charge.
exemption in my first term because Samsung was in South Korea, and Samsung didn't have to pay the tax because it was a tax on China. And Apple makes a lot of their product in China, so I did that because it wouldn't have been.
I've
fair.
never heard somebody say
But now
Samsung like it was a
this
first
applies
and
to
last
everybody
name.
across the board. This is a much simpler way of doing it, much better. way.
You had that major call yesterday with President Putin of
Yeah.
Russia. President Zelensky responded today, basically saying any agreements they won't accept unless they're made with Ukraine. Will Ukraine have a seat at that table for those
Of course
negotiations?
they would. I mean, they're part of it. We would have Ukraine, we would have Russia, and we'll have other people involved too. A lot of people, a lot of forks in the, a lot of forks in this game. I'll tell you what, this is a very interesting situation, but the Ukraine war has to end. The young people are being killed at levels that nobody's seen since World War II. And it's a ridiculous war, and it has to end. We had a good talk with President Putin. I had a good talk with President Zelensky, very good talk. And somebody said, oh, I should have called Zelensky first. I don't think so. I mean, we have to find out whether or not Russia wants to make a deal. I know that Zelensky wants to make a deal because he told me that. But I now know that Russia wants to make a deal.
Did you ask Secretary Hegseth to walk back his comments yesterday saying Ukraine won't join NATO and won't go back to pre-2014 borders because those are bargaining chips you could use?
No, I didn't. Somebody told me to, but I thought his comments were good yesterday, and they're probably good today. They're a little bit softer, perhaps, but I thought his comments yesterday were pretty accurate. I don't see any way that a country in Russia's position could allow them, just in their position, could allow them to join NATO. I don't see that happening. And long before President Putin, Russia was very strong on the fact that I believe that's the reason the war started, because Biden went out and said that they could join NATO, and he shouldn't have said that. As soon as he said that, I said, you know what? You're going to have a war now, and I was right about that. This is a war that would have never happened if I were president.
You don't think it's President Biden's fault, not President Putin? I mean, he's the one
I think Biden is incompetent, and I think when he said that they could join NATO, I thought that was a very stupid thing to say. I thought when he said, well, it depends if it's a minor incursion. In other words, it's okay if Russia does a minor incursion. I thought that was a very foolish thing to say. The other thing that got it started was how badly Milley and these stupid people, bad generals, how badly they did with Afghanistan. I was going to pull out, but we were pulling out with dignity and strength, and we were going to take our equipment with us and everything else. What they're doing is what they did with that. I think Putin looked at that mess and he said, wow, this is a great time. I'm going to go in. But what the Americans said, I'm not blaming Americans, but I will say what they said had a big influence on his deciding to go in. Yeah.
When Elon Musk met with Prime Minister Modi earlier today, did he do so as an American CEO or did he do so as a representative of the U.S. government?
Are you talking about me?
No, Elon Musk.
Elon, I don't know. They met, and I assume he wants to do business in India. But India is a very hard place to do business in because of the tariffs. They have the highest tariffs just about in the world, and it's a hard place to do business. No, I would imagine he met possibly because he's running a company. He's doing this as something that he's felt strongly about for a long time because he sees what's happening and he sees how the country is really being hurt badly by all of the fraud, waste, and abuse. Yeah.
So how does Modi know whether he's meeting with a CEO or meeting with a representative of your government?
Well, he's meeting with me in a little while, so I'm going to ask him that question. All right, I'll ask him that question. Yeah.
On auto tariffs, what should we expect, sir? You mentioned obviously steel and aluminum and pharmaceuticals. What are you thinking about auto tariffs? We haven't talked about that.
I think autos are coming soon. I think they're all coming more or less at the same time. And it's not going to be a big shock to the system. But what it's going to do is it's going to bring pharmaceuticals back to our country. Much more important than the money. It's a lot of money, but it's going to bring pharmaceuticals back to our country. It's going to bring chips back to our country. It's going to bring automobile. We're going to do a lot more automobile manufacturing in our country. When I did this, when I announced this during the campaign, they were going to build the largest car plant in the world in Mexico. It was almost under construction. It was just starting. And when they heard me make that statement, and they thought I was going to win the election, actually, it was a few months before the
I love this chat.
itself. China was building the car plant. It was going to be the largest in the world. They immediately stopped construction. You can see the foundations there. They immediately stopped. When they heard I was doing this, that would have destroyed Detroit. It would have destroyed Michigan. This plant would have taken up more than almost the whole state built. And it would have been very destructive. When they heard me speak and they said, wow, if he gets in, we're gonna lose our shirt. So they stopped building. That's the impact that tariffs have. Again, I say it and I say it loudly. It's the most beautiful word, but now I say religion, love, and a couple of other things are more beautiful because I got a lot of problem with the fake news when they said, oh, other things are more important. God is more important, but these are the words. But I would say it's number 4 or 5. To me, it's the most beautiful. And I'll tell you what, I think really reciprocal tariffs, those 2 words, reciprocal makes tariffs really fair.
There'd be no exemptions, right? It would be all auto imports?
Any exemptions now because you don't need to. With reciprocal, you don't need to.
Mr. President, Gavin Tiger just arrived at the RS.
Fox Radio. Do you have a update on the TikTok negotiations?
Yeah, we have a lot of people.
Timeline's running out.
Well, I have 90 days from about 2 weeks ago, right? and I'm sure it can be extended, but let's see. I don't think you'll need to. We have a lot of people interested in TikTok, and I hope to be able to make a deal. I think it would be good. You know, people have learned it's very popular, and we'll have to probably get approval from China to do it. But we have a lot of people that are interested, and a lot of people, I think China will be interested because it's to their benefit too. So I look forward to that. But we have a lot of people that are interested in TikTok, quite a few.
Mr. President, those workers arrived today, Gavin Klager and others arrived today at the IRS. Do you expect to close the IRS, or what are you expecting?
No, I don't expect it,
About
but
the ERS.
I think that the Internal Revenue Service will be looked at like everybody else. Just about everybody's going to be looked at. So it's they're doing a hell of a job. It's an amazing job they're doing. And you know, that force is building these, I call it the force of super geniuses, but it's building. And you know, they go up and they talk to some of the people about certain deals, and the people get all tongue tied. They can't talk because these people get it. They're very smart people. We need smart people. Yes. Brian?
On tariffs, sir.
Yeah, Brian.
Yes, sir. Mr. President, I know that during the campaign, it was huge in Pennsylvania as far as bringing back manufacturing. Have we talked to any CEOs since the tariffs were announced in steel and aluminum? What's the feedback from those?
They are in love with it. As you know, in Pennsylvania, U.S. Steel is through the roof. They're all through the roof. That's why I didn't want U.S. Steel to make a deal with Japan or anybody else. I think it's going to do great. But I think maybe more than anybody else, the steel companies and aluminum companies, they're in love with what's happened. And this will eventually be the car companies and chip companies. We have to have chips made in this country. Right now, everything's made in Taiwan practically, almost all of it, a little bit in South Korea. But everything, almost all of it is made in Taiwan. And we want it to be made. We want those companies to come to our country, in all due respect. You know, they took the business away. Taiwan took our chip business away. We had Intel, we had these great companies that did so well, and it was taken from us, and we want that business back. We want it back in the United States. And if they don't bring it back, we're not going to be very happy.
Sir, on tariffs, are you?
Pharmaceuticals as well in China. That's national security to bring that back.
Yeah, China and other places. We want to get the pharmaceutical and drug business back into the United States, where it should be. Right?
Sir, on tariffs, are you concerned that the countries that would be most affected, like India, would just shift their trading to China?
No, I'm not concerned about anything, really. I mean, I'm just doing what's fair. This is a very fair thing. This should have been done a long time ago. I would have done it, but then COVID hit. I was getting ready to do this years ago, and first time we had the most successful economy in history, and then COVID hit, and this was going to be the thing that I was most waiting to do, but it was awfully hard to do this with Italy and France and Spain, and all those people were dying, and then we put tariffs on. See, I have a big heart.
Sir, on Ukraine, when Putin says that he really wants peace, do you believe him?
Yeah, I do. I believe he wants peace. I believe that President Putin, when I spoke to him yesterday, I mean, I know him very well. Yeah, I think he wants peace. I think he would tell me if he didn't. I'd like to see peace.
Do you trust President
I believe that, I believe that he would like to see something happen. I trust him on this subject. I think he'd like to see something happen. I think it could have happened a long time ago. I think Biden, number one, it shouldn't have started, but it did. And now all those cities are knocked down like demolition sites. All those beautiful golden towers are knocked down. There's nothing going to replace them. But much more importantly, you lost millions of people. A lot of soldiers, but you lost millions of people. When they knocked down those cities and they're all laying down on the side, they're laying down just in ashes and all crumbled up concrete. They literally look like a world-class demolition site. And many of them, almost all of them, but many of them. And this should have been done by Biden years ago. This should have never been allowed to happen. I know he's a friend of yours. He's a friend of CNN. That's why nobody watches CNN anymore, because they have no credibility. Okay, who else? Yes, please.
The buyer in the United States for TikTok. Do you think Xi Jinping will authorize the sale of it, or will
I'm going to make it worthwhile for China to do it. I think so. I mean, I got to know TikTok because during the election, I ended up with 36% higher than my opponent with youth. Okay, that never happened before. I mean, you know, that's always been a Democrat thing. It became a Trump thing. And I think TikTok, I think Joe Rogan was a part of it. Some of the great people that I did interviews with were a part of it. But I think that TikTok was I think it was a big part. Look, as you know, we were up by 36% with youth. The Republican was never up with youth. And I focused on TikTok, and I found it to be amazing, actually, and very fair. And I think the image of TikTok is different than it was before the election.
yeah.
I think people saw it and they view it as a positive, not a negative. I think it'll be to China's advantage to have the deal be made. Yeah.
How much money do you think you'll raise from tariffs on an annual basis?
That's the most interesting question. I think it'll be a staggering amount. It will be the external, I call it the External Revenue Service. That was a name that was devised by a few of us, but I think it's going to be a staggering amount.
Is the number 1 trillion floated in meetings with senators? Is that a number you thought of?
I don't know, but already the Senate's saying, well, wait a minute, you know, they're looking at some of the numbers and they're saying, whoa, look, we want to, I say America first. I say make America great again. That's what we're doing. I think it's the most important thing I've signed. I've signed some very important things. Right to try was so important. I mean, a lot of important things. Space Force, the biggest tax cuts in history. You know, this could be one of the most important things that we've ever signed.
Do you expect the Russians and President Putin to attend the summit in Saudi Arabia?
Eventually, yeah. Not quite yet. It's a little early. They're having a meeting in Munich tomorrow. Russia is going to be there with our people. Ukraine is also invited, by the way. Not sure exactly who's going to be there from any country, but high-level people from Russia, from Ukraine, and from the United States.
Do you want to have Russia back to the G7, sir?
I'd love to have them back. I think it was a mistake to throw them out. Look, it's not a question of liking Russia or not liking Russia. It was the G8. And, you know, I said, what are you doing? You guys, all you talk about is Russia, and they should be sitting at the table. I think Putin would love to be back. Obama and a couple of other people made a mistake and they got Russia out. It's very possible that if that was the G8, you wouldn't have had the problem with Ukraine. And if I was president, you definitely wouldn't have had the problem with Ukraine. Russia would have never attacked Ukraine. But you ask a very good question, the G8. It used to be the G8 and then these people threw them out. And I was arguing with Trudeau and with numerous of the people. Actually, Prime Minister Abe, a great man from Japan, agreed with me 100%, and some of the others did too. But I got there, it was a G7, as you know. They had already been terminated. I think it would have been very helpful, and it still would be helpful to have Russia be a part of that mix. And I think if they were, I don't think you would have had the problem that you have right now.
Russia is part of the G20. They kicked them out, of course, because they illegally annexed Crimea. I mean, how would you have responded if Russia invaded or took over?
They took Crimea during Obama. They took, well, now they're looking to take the whole thing. Then they took a big chunk of land and people, as you know, during Bush. And now they're trying to take the whole thing during Biden. You know, the only one that didn't give them anything is Trump. They never took anything with Trump, nothing, not 2 inches of property of land. But Crimea was Obama. And then Bush gave him a lot, you remember. And then, in fact, it's a sort of a standard little phrase. And Biden's giving him everything because this is a war that shouldn't have been had. And the only one that didn't give him anything is Trump. It's just the way it is.
What's the message on Wall Street about the tariffs? There's some nervousness on Wall Street about the impact.
I mean, there hasn't been very much. And I think it's going to make the United States stronger. And in many ways, it could make other countries stronger, too. You know, other countries want to have a strong United States. They want to have a strong America. And I think it's going to make us very, very strong, much stronger. And we have a lot of work we're doing on the military. Our military already, I've authorized some contracts to be built that are very substantial. We're building the greatest equipment in the world. We have the greatest military equipment in the world. We're building it. At some point, when things settle down, I'm going to meet with China and I'm going to meet with Russia in particular, those two. And I'm going to say, there's no reason for us to be spending almost $1 trillion on military. There's no reason for you to be spending $400 billion. China's going to be at 400 billion. We're at $1 trillion. We're going to be at close to $1 trillion. And I'm going to say, we can spend this on other things. We don't have to spend this on military and I'm going to be meeting with China. You know, we were trying to de-escalate nuclear, and I was in a position where Russia had agreed and China had agreed we were going to start, and then we had a rigged election, so that never took place. But this one was too big to rig. We won by so much that it was too big to rig.
You want to do the China meeting in the United States, or would you travel to China for that?
For what?
The China meeting.
I tell people all the time, you know, the question is who's going to have the first meeting, where are you going to, I say this to Putin, to President Xi, I say to everybody, never bothered me, you know, I'm willing to say I'll go first. It doesn't matter. It's the end result that counts. So it doesn't make any difference.
When do you want to have a conversation about global defense spending, you, China,
Well, I'd
Russia?
like to have that as soon as things settle down. I'm going to have that conference primarily with China and Russia, because those are the two that really are out there. And we're going to have them spend a lot less money, and we're going to spend a lot less money. And I know they're going to do it. They agreed to it. We were talking about denuclearizing, and President Putin and I agreed that we were going to do it in a very big way. There's no reason for us to be building brand new nuclear weapons. We already have so many. You could destroy the world 50 times over, 100 times over. And here we are building new nuclear weapons, and they're building nuclear weapons, and China's building new nuclear weapons, and China's trying to catch up because, you know, they're very substantially behind, but within 5 or 6 years, they'll be even. And we're all spending a lot of money that we could be spending on other things that are actually, hopefully, much more productive. Hopefully, there'll never be a time when we need those weapons. If there's ever a time when we need nuclear weapons, like the kind of weapons that we're building and that Russia has and that China has to a lesser extent, but will have, that's going to be a very sad day. That's going to be probably oblivion.
Do you see that as separate conversations, or do you see one giant summit with you, Xi Jinping, and Vladimir Putin?
Yeah, I could see that. Let things calm down a little bit. You know, when I left, we had no Middle East problem. We had no Russia going into Ukraine. They never would have done it. Putin never would have done it. And I came back and we got like the whole world is blowing up. So when we straighten it all out, then I want to have one of the first meetings I want to have is with President Xi of China, President Putin of Russia. And I want to say, let's cut our military budget in half. And we can do that. And I think we'll be able to do it.
If Elon Musk identifies wasteful spending in the Defense Department, defense contractors and the like, are you willing to go after that spending as well?
We have to go waste, fraud, and abuse. Yeah, and we're doing that.
Could we, I'm just wondering about your conversations on defense spending. Would you want to do that as a trilateral, or would you use the existing body that also already includes China and Russia, the G20?
No, it's the people. It's President Putin, President Xi. I don't need bodies. I don't need anything. It's people. It's all about people. It's about relationship and people. And, you know, I've had a good relationship with President Putin. I've had a good relationship with President Xi. It's about people. And I think when things straighten out, which I hope will be in the not too distant future, the meeting I want to have first is a meeting with China and a meeting with Russia on slowing down, stopping, and reducing nuclear weapons in particular, and also on not having to spend the kind of money we're all spending on weapons, military weapons generally.
I think my question is, would you have those meetings separately with each of those leaders, or would you try to bring them all together?
Both. You start off separately, and that's what was happening. I was dealing with President Putin. We had really an understanding where we were going to denuclearize. What a beautiful term that is, right? Denuclearize. What a great thing if we could do that. And we were going to, he really liked the idea, and so did I. And we had then called China, and China was very open to it. And then COVID hit, and then we had a rigged election. But now there was no rigged election. Now we have an election that was too big to rig. That's what my whole theme was, too big to rig. And they tried, but they didn't pull it off.
Sir, as part of the reciprocal tariffs, would you also direct agencies to study the impact they would have on prices in the U.S.?
No, there's nothing to study. There's nothing to study. It's going to go well. You know, the United States is going to become a very, very strong economically country. Yeah.
Mr. President, in the past, you have spoken against BRICS. India is part of BRICS. Do you want to dismantle BRICS, or you want to? US want to be part?
I don't care, but BRICS was put there for a bad purpose, and most of those people don't want it. They don't even want to talk about it now. They're afraid to talk about it because I told them if they want to play games with the dollar, then they're going to be hit with a 100% tariff the day they mention that they want to do it. And they will come back and say, we beg you not to do this. BRICS is dead since I mentioned that. BRICS died the minute I mentioned that.
Damn.
And I remember when Obama and Biden in particular, I guess he said that, they have us over a barrel. They don't have us over a barrel. We have them over a barrel. If BRICS wants to play games, those countries won't trade with us. We won't trade with them. And if any trading gets through, it'll be 100% tariff at least.
What would be your?
You know what? When they hear that, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to say, look what happened to BRICS. They didn't want to talk about it. They don't even want to admit that they were a member of BRICS. That's what's happened.
On your cabinet, sir, we saw Robert F. Kennedy Jr. get confirmed. He's going to come in here and be sworn in. Mitch McConnell has now voted against several of your nominees. He voted against RFK Jr. as the next health secretary, citing conspiracy theories. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I feel sorry for Mitch. And I was one of the people that he wanted to go to the end and he wanted to stay leader. He's not equipped mentally. He wasn't equipped 10 years ago mentally, in my opinion. He'd let the Republican Party go to hell. If I didn't come along, the Republican Party wouldn't even exist right now. Mitch McConnell never really had it. He had an ability to raise money because of his position as leader, which anybody could do. You could do it even. And that's saying a lot. But the fact is that he raised money and he gave a lot of money to senators. And so he had a little loyalty based on the fact that as leader, you could raise a lot of money. Senators would call me and they say, he wants to give me 20, 25 million. Can I take it? I'd say, take the money. But he engendered a certain amount of, I don't even call it loyalty. He was able to get votes. But I was the one that got him to drop out of the leadership position. So he can't love me, but he's not voting against Bobby. He's voting against me, but that's all right. He endorsed me. Mitch, do you know that Mitch endorsed me, right?
Well, he did.
You think that was easy? What?
He had polio, obviously, and
I don't know. I don't know anything about he had polio.
Are you doubting that he had polio?
I have no idea if he had polio. All I can tell you about him is that he shouldn't have been leader. He knows that. He voted against Bobby. He votes against almost everything now. He's a very bitter guy. And we have a very strong party, and he's almost not even really a very powerful member. I'd say he's not he's lost his power, and it's affected his vote. And it's one of those things. But in the meantime, Bobby did great, got more votes than anybody thought, and I think he's going to do phenomenally in that position. And everybody else likewise did well. Not only well, they got more votes than anybody thought. Tulsi, look at how she did. She did great. Marco got 99 votes. How about that? And Marco got 99 votes. And Marco, by the way, I have to tell you, Marco Rubio's done a fantastic job.
He is doing a good job. I don't like him, but he's doing a good job.
Great Secretary of State. They're all doing great. But we're going to have a swearing in today, and maybe we're going to have a second one because I hear we have a couple of them coming up. And the man behind me is doing a fantastic job, Secretary of Commerce. And I think you're going to see something very big come from today's signing. This is going to be a very important signing. Okay.
U.S. Steel, sir, can I ask very quickly? You said you'd meet with the head of that company and the Japanese company.
U.S. Steel is going to be here, and a lot of the steel companies are coming. I think steel companies, they love what's happening to them. We saved it. If I didn't do the tariffs from my first term, you wouldn't have one steel company here. You wouldn't have one steel. There wouldn't be a steel company alive in the United States. And right now, they're going to be thriving. They're doing very well, but they're going to be thriving. They're going to be coming out. People are going to want to buy those steel companies like crazy.
Are you still planning to mediate talks between Nippon Steel and U.S. Steel?
Yeah, I don't know. I think U.S. Steel right now has all the power. The tariffs have given U.S. Steel a new lease on life. Okay? Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go.
go, guys.
We leave the stage. Okay.
All right, so the feed is now ended. So we'll see what now we also have RFK who's about to be sworn in. I know that it already happened, but I'm waiting for the feed of him being sworn in. So we're going to wait for that feed because it's already happened.
Perfect. Live as we saw there at the White House, there at the Oval Office. And it's interesting when President Trump holds a press conference, it doesn't need to be behind a podium. It's behind the desk.
Yeah, their microphone's not picking up properly. So so as soon as we get the video feed, is this it? Yeah, here we go. Ouch. What?
All right, it looks like they are still queuing.
Let's go over here. We got some audio problems there. Let's see.
And as soon as we get the
everybody's
feed
having audio
there,
problems.
we'll be going back to the White House there, where RFK Jr. is getting sworn in. Obviously, a little audio technical difficulty, but again, all of the coverage that you're seeing today is recorded from moments ago, and then we play it for you live here on the network. So I just want to clear any confusion about whether something's live or not. We'll put up there as much.
This is a very exciting day for.
Yeah, still not working.
Tariff.
Still not working.
Reciprocal tariffs.
Still not working.
I believe
Hang on.
today's East Room White House meeting between the Prime Minister of India and President Trump will.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, the feed is dead still.
We'll let them settle that up right now, and we will take a 2-minute break here on Live Now from Fox. And when we come back, we will play out the version here of the tape playback when it gets a little bit better on the audio. So we'll listen to that in just moments on Live Now from Fox.
Okay, let's see if we got the Fox News feed. Let's see. Fox News. That's Fox Now. Let's see. Fox News. Yeah, they're having problems too. Fox News is also. Here we go. Everybody's having problems with that feed. How was the feed? It was just good. Jeez. Look at the chat. What is happening? This is
It's going to be.
What is happening? This is
It's going to
wild.
be a real honor for me to introduce Robert F. Kennedy Jr., take the oath of office and officially become.
10 years ago, it wasn't, but it is now. It's a big moment, actually.
It's going to be.
Oh, this is fun. Does not compute. Yeah, it's wild. Fox News has 63,000 people watching this. I mean, I want to mute it, but I don't want to mute it. Like, it's so bad. I want to. I don't want to mute it. This is crazy. Trump's got to fire some people over this one. I mean, this is honestly like, it's still better than Friday Night Tights. Let's be fair. This is still better than Friday Night Tights. Nothing, like literally no feed at all. And right side has not cut back over to it. Fox Now has not cut back over to it. So we're just waiting. Zod looking for Superman. It did sound like Zod, didn't it? Holy crap. It did sound like Zod. That was great. Got that one. There was another clip that I wanted to show you guys while we're waiting. Yeah, feed is still not working. This has been a disaster.
White House, they will meet inside the Oval Office, and then a little bit later, they will also have a news conference in the East Room there. So, busy day for President Trump, and we bring you all events like if you were right there inside at the White House. Do want to show you how the Dow is shaking up big time green.
Okay.
From the outside aisles of the grocery store. Don't get the stuff from the inside. But, still to the point though, and not everything in the inside has a toxin in it, but I'm just saying it's just cleaning up all of our food in America. We know that as soon as RFK Jr. is sworn in today, I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow or on Monday, there are some huge announcements about the processing.
Is the stream on X? No, it's the same feed. It looks like it's finally working here. Let's see.
It's going to be a real honor for me to introduce Robert F. Kennedy Jr., take the oath of office and officially become our Secretary of Health and Human Services. Just as I promised last year, Bobby is going to lead a great national mission to make America healthy again, and he's going to do it. I think he's going to do things that will really make us very proud of this day. Like his father, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and his uncle, President John F. Kennedy, Bobby has devoted much of his life to serving his fellow Americans in his campaign for president, and he was a very tough competitor. I did not like it at all. I said, let's get him on my side. But in his campaign for president in 2024, Bobby brought together a coalition of supporters across party lines, and he really worked very hard, and he had tremendous support, unbelievable support. And I think a lot of that support came my way when we decided to do a little merger. And it was really great. And it was very loyal, incredible people. They believe in him so strongly because he's a fierce advocate for the health of our children and for the values of free speech, democracy, and peace. And people are going to be very impressed, I have no doubt. I've known him a long time. He's been a friend of mine a long time. Perhaps most importantly, though, Bobby created a nationwide movement made up of millions and millions of mothers and fathers and young people and concerned citizens of every background who want to end and this horrible chronic disease crisis that exists in America. He's absolutely committed to getting dangerous chemicals out of our environment and out of our food supply and getting the American people the facts and the answers that we deserve. After years in which our public health system has squandered the trust of our citizens, and they really have, they don't trust us. They don't trust anybody, frankly. They've gone through hell. There's no better person to lead our campaign of historic reforms and restore faith in American health care.
Is the audio
Bobby's going to do it. The United
loud,
States
too good?
spends
What do
more
you guys
money
want?
in health than any other country on earth, but we're growing sicker every year. We're not as healthy as countries that spend just a fraction of what we spend. So there's something wrong. He's going to figure it out. In recent decades, we've seen staggering increases in cancer rates across all age demographics, including more than 40% increase in childhood cancer since 1975. Who can believe that? And an explosion in other chronic childhood illnesses. Not long ago, 1 in 10,000 people, children, had autism. Now it's 1 in 36. Think of that. 1 in 10,000. 1 in 10,000. Now it's 1 in 30.
I have to pause it for just a minute because Doge officials have entered the IRS building in DC to begin their investigation into the agency. This comes after ex-users overwhelmingly voted for Doge to dig into the IRS just days ago. So Doge is officially in the IRS building. Let's fucking go! All right, back to Trump.
6. Who can believe that? There's something wrong. There's something wrong. And I think it's something that can be found out. In 2022, more than 40% of children had at least one chronic health condition. And today, nearly 80% of young adults do not qualify for military service, in large part for health reasons. Think of that, 80%. Something is wrong. And that's why immediately after Bobby is sworn in, I will be signing an executive order establishing the President's Commission to Make America Healthy Again. We have some great people on that commission. Chaired by our new secretary, this groundbreaking commission will be charged with investigating what is causing the decades-long increase in chronic illness, reporting its findings, and delivering an action plan to the American people. And it's going to be a plan that people are really waiting to hear. Bobby, I want to thank you. You've gone through a lot. It's taken great courage. You've been amazing, actually. I'd call him and say, you're going to be okay. And he said, I know, I really do. He's really been supported amazingly by Cheryl and his family. And it was very tough. It was a very nasty group of people that were after him, but he was tougher and he was smarter than they are. And that's why he's here today. There are very few people that could have withstood the assault, but he was able to. So I just want to congratulate you. And we have a very special person here to swear you in, a man that I think has done just, I think he's just an amazing man. As you know, his name happens to be Gorsuch, and he's a member of the Supreme Court in extremely good standing. He's highly respected by everybody. And I didn't know, are you two friends or something? Or did this just happen to be the justice? Did this just happen to be the luck of the draw? What happened? Did you reach out? Well, you reached out to a very good man. So please, if you would, thank you very much.
Oh, this has to be done first.
Sorry. I'm going to make this a good one, right? Okay, it's good so far. Good. It's a 10. Go in there. Get the kid in there. Go in there. Get the kid.
This is awesome.
Over here, please.
Would all the family like to join?
Yes, sure.
All right. Please place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right. I, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
I, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend.
that I will support and defend
The Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States
Against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic.
foreign and domestic,
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
That I take this obligation freely.
that I take this obligation freely
Without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion.
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
on which I am about to enter.
on which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. Secretary.
That's right. W's in the chat. Let's get some W's in the chat. This is awesome.
I want to begin by thanking President Trump for giving me this extraordinary opportunity. And I want to introduce my family and thank them for being here. My wife, Cheryl, my cousin, Anthony Shriver, my daughter, Kik, my other daughter, Kira, Catalina Shriver, Joey Shriver, Jackson Hines, and Amaryllis Kennedy. Oh, and I want to thank all of you for your support and throughout this whole 2.5 year journey. My first time in this Oval Office was in 1961, and I came here to meet or 1962. I came here and I had a meeting with my uncle, who was president then, where we talked about the environment. He was involved deeply, as we all know, in restoring physical fitness in this country. He challenged at one point during his administration, he challenged Americans to do a 50-mile walk, which I ultimately did. But I remember the day that my father completed his walk. We were staying up at Camp David. And my father came in after 18 hours walking on the C&O towpath with his feet bleeding and blisters on them. My father had one of his best friends was Al Lowenstein. And Al Lowenstein also ultimately was a congressman from New York who was assassinated himself in 1980. But Al Lowenstein had started the Dump Johnson movement to get rid of President Johnson and end the Vietnam War. And at the time that he started it, people just thought it was a fool's errand. And ultimately, he asked my father to run for president against Johnson. My father wouldn't do it at that time. And he asked Gene McCarthy. McCarthy did it, and he joined that campaign. And my father ultimately ran, and Johnson then dropped out. So Al Lowenstein succeeded. And although Al Lowenstein was on the other side now, running against my father with Gene McCarthy, my father wrote him a note, a quote from Emerson, where he said, if a single man plant himself firmly on his own ideal and there abide, the whole wide world will come round to him. For 20 years, I've gotten up every morning on my knees and prayed that God would put me in a position where I can end the childhood chronic disease epidemic in this country. On August 23rd of last year, God sent me President Trump. And he gave me he's now given me, he's kept every promise that he's made to me. He's kept his word in every account and gone way beyond it. I'm so grateful to you, Mr. President. A lot of people told me that I couldn't trust President Trump, that I better get it in writing. And we did a handshake, and everything that he told me he was going to do, he has done. And I'm so grateful to him. And I've told you before, I genuinely believe that you are a pivotal historical figure, and you are going to transform this country at a time when we see all of the indicia of democracy now in tatters in our country. We see the rise of the military-industrial complex, the rise of totalitarianism, these attacks on our Constitution, and this breathtaking epidemic that is disabling our people. President Trump has promised to restore the American dream in this country. A healthy person has 1,000 dreams. A sick person only has one. 60% of our population has only one dream, that they get better. President Trump has promised that he's going to restore America's strength. But we can't be a strong nation if we have a weak citizenry. If people are sick, 60% of our people are sick. 77%, as President Trump mentioned, of our children cannot qualify for military service. And we need a man on a white horse now. We need somebody who is willing to come in and has the spine and the guts and the strength to challenge orthodoxies, to stand in the way of vested interests, and to break institutions that have turned against our democracy. President Trump has shown again and again that he is that hero. And most recently, I greatly appreciate it. I called you the day that you announced the termination of USAID. My uncle started USAID in 1961 for humanitarian purposes, to put our country on the side of the poor. It has been captured by the military-industrial complex. It has become a sinister propagator of totalitarianism and war across the globe. And very few people understand how sinister this agency really is. And President Trump saw that, and he stood up to it with a masterstroke. And we want to do the same thing with the institutions that are stealing the health of our children. We need a revolutionary figure, and you are that figure, and I'm very grateful for you for giving me this opportunity. I want to recognize some of the allies that I've had in this battle for a long time: Senator Rand Paul, Senator Ron Johnson, Senator Roger Marshall, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Buddy Carter, who've all been champions of the MAHA agenda before I even came along. I'm very grateful for you for standing strong. Thank you very much, President Trump.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
Mr. Secretary, I'd like to ask, what plans do you have immediately at HHS now that you're sworn in, sir?
He's going to be running it. He's going to do a great job. That's my plan. He's going to find out a lot of secrets that have been maybe kept from us, but he's going to come up with some solutions to some big problems, health problems. And I think he's going to go down in the record books. I really have confidence. This group has great, even Rand has confidence. And that doesn't happen often.
What are your plans on day one, which I guess is today?
Our plans are radical transparency and returning gold standard science to NIH, the FDA, and CDC, to ending the corruption, ending the corporate capture of those agencies, getting rid of the people on those panels that have conflicts of interest. So we can do unadored and unimpeded science rather than the kind of product that is coming out of those agencies today.
Mr. Secretary, may I ask, how do you address concerns that some Americans may have about your stance on vaccines?
When people actually hear what I think about vaccines, which is common sense, which is vaccines should be tested, they should be safe, everybody should have informed consent. People are reacting because they hear things about me that aren't true. They hear characterizations of things that I've said that are simply not true. When they hear what I have to say actually about vaccines, everybody supports it.
Mr. Kennedy, Kara Cashinova from Lindell TV. What's your message to Democrats in the Senate that fought so hard to keep you from taking this position? And congratulations, by the way.
President Trump has promised me the president for all Americans, and he has said to me that he understands that there's no such thing as Republican children or Democratic children. All of our children need to be protected. And whether you're in a blue state or red state, I'm going to do everything I can to work with you, whether you're Democrat or Republican, to restore child's health in this country.
Mr. Secretary.
Great job. Great job. Thank you all very much.
It's good stuff, man. That was awesome. I am so happy right now with everything we have going on. You can feel the energy. You can feel it. Like Trump is 100% in charge. You've got RFK now finally being confirmed and sworn in. You've got Tulsi confirmed and sworn in. Kash Patel is on the brink of the same thing. You've got Pete Hegseth out there just crushing it. Marco Rubio is crushing it. Team Trump is on fire right now, man. And this country is in excellent shape. Excellent shape. Fantastic vs. Knox says, imagine if there was a sign to end Bill Gates. Exactly. Like the one we saw for Elon Musk. Let's see. So Animating Andy says, to help you maintain the #1 super chatted place in the USA and a very, very minuscule refund for the millions that Europe stole from you. Thank you, Animating Andy. Greatly appreciated that, brother. Let's see. We've got, where was this one? Oh, EU, please protect us, Trump, because we won't Trump. No, thank you, EU. Traitor. Exactly. Thank you for the 50. And then, of course, this one made me laugh. So if you heard earlier the press conference with Trump, the way he said Samsung, I've never heard someone say it like, I didn't know if he was talking about Samsung or if he was talking about a man named Sam Sung, but we need to get that clipped out. But of course, this account, was born from it. And of course, 1,000 memes are going to be born from it. I'm honored that President Trump has mentioned me. Oh, man. We love Tic Tacs. That Samsung guy needs to have one or two. Yeah, and he called it TikTok. He called it Tic Tac. Let's see. I ate at Samsung's last night. Good sticky noodle bowl with the baby carrots. Thank you for the 20. I do enjoy Tic Tacs. They're the only food we get at forced labor camps. Oh, my goodness. Let's see here. Don't Samsung close to me. The memes are not going to stop. Don't tell Beardo McConnell has polio. He'll think McConnell would grow massive TTs. Jesus. Always catching strays. Linko. So what's up, Jeremy? I'm thinking about going to the Vegas meetup despite that I have things to do in Orlando, but would like to see if I can make it. If you have any info, would appreciate it. Hail the 199. I'm going to call Gary this weekend, and I'm going to try to get at least a few details because I know everybody needs the details. It's just everything's kind of behind for Gary because of everything he's been dealing with. But as soon as I can get those details, I will let you guys know. Long Claw says, a healthy person has 1,000 dreams. A sick person only has one. Damn, that's a great line by RFK. W moment for America. Make America healthy again. Make America great again. 199. Let's go. Thank you. That was a hell of a line. That was a really good line from RFK. Let me see. Garth Hughes says, to think all of this wouldn't be happening if we'd been ignorant to this. Oh, yeah, I got that one earlier. Grant Potato says, oh, yeah, because we can totally trust the Gates Foundation. Totally. SP South says, I live in Washington State, but I don't vote for these Diddy-crat clowns. I am one of the 1.5 million Washingtons who voted for Trump. Mo Zamboni says, I love RFK. His voice is deep fake proof. What's up, Mo Zamboni? Hail to the GCA. Pee-wee Reincarnated says, messaged you the Maxine video on X. Noted. Neil says, I almost spat out my coffee when he said governor. Yes, Trump called him Governor Trudeau once again. Beastie Man says, God, I despise these women fake news reporters. Let's see. Narsty, Iron Torpedo, Cremo. Jeremy, to help dispel the rumors of you being gay, how much to rent you for an hour to do some wrestling? Crazy how big Cobra Cast keep going. No way you're going to be able to pay for anything like that because that's off the table, buddy. But thank you for the compliment. Andrew CR says, Sam's son, the South Korean, great guy, has better English than Beardo. Got to get Samsung on FNT tomorrow. You think we could pull that one off? He's an absolute menace. Now there's multiple Samsungs. Grand Potato, it's time to go mobile, Trump. Shout out to my cousin Samsung. Sounds like a Mortal Kombat character announcer voice. Choose your character, Samsung. Too much winning Trump 2025. Do you think Trump is a Tic Tac or a Mentos guy? Probably Tic Tac. Samsung Young. Great man from Japan. Orange chicken finger licking. Donald Trump. No trust China. Samsung no pray games with Dala. Rub-a-dub dub. God bless Trump. Can't believe he's such a young, vibrant man. We got Modern Warfare 2 lobby mics now. AI taking over. I'm having tears from all of this. Yeah, I mean, dude, as a matter of fact, look, let me pull this up really quick. Show you guys. So I was keeping up with I was looking at Twitter while all of that was going on. I'm trying to see if I can find it. Is this it? No, there was a clip of Trump basically just calling out Caitlin Collins. I'm trying to find it now. I don't think I bookmarked it. Did I bookmark it? So Caitlin Collins tried to start talking, and Trump was basically like, we haven't given you permission to talk. Oh, I love how much of an asshole he is to these people, and they deserve it. Yeah, right here. Here it is, right here.
Well, that's a good one.
Mr. President, you won the White House in part because of high inflation. If your tariffs make prices go up.
Excuse me, we haven't asked you to speak yet, please.
Excuse me, we haven't asked you to speak yet, please. Holy shit. Holy crap. What a freaking legend. Let's see. Skynet is taking over. That's what you get when you buy your equipment from Samsung. Pre-Dawn Corp says, damn it, Jeremy, get on the roof and move the antenna around, son. Sakuri says, Geeks and Gamers production quality gone viral. Pretty much. Dank Prometheus is confirmed attack on White House media. Breaking news. Say what? Stephen DeLeon says, Snake Eyes is Chinese and Interstellar is trash. Damn. Even Gary doesn't boomer this bad. The intelligence community will still try to keep a Kennedy out of the White House. John Jones says, make frying oil tallow again. Make soda cane sugar again. Make McDonald's great again. MAHA. Kenny Cap says, first color dye to be banned from our food. I guess we'll see. Jason Ingram says, which of you created Skynet to cause this? Grant Potato says, do you support this onesie? Philip Butler says, I was 9 when his dad was in the White House. Christian Rocker says, best part is we are just getting started. John Jones says, I'd love if Kennedy and Trump encouraged another 50-mile walk like JFK did. Garth Hughes says, my super chat got interrupted. I'm sorry. My bad. There's a lot going on. Philip Chan, how did Samsung get out of the sweatshop? We keep nets on the second and third floors because of him. Aggie Orva says, hey, Jeremy, thanks for the content. There's so much to keep up with. I usually come here to get all of it in one channel. Well, thank you. I am always trying my best to keep up with all of it myself. It's a lot to keep up with. Mr. No One with the gift of membership. Thank you. Beardo 1.1 for $1. Kenny Cap says, I remember all of this swearing by Biden feeling all up on kids. This is so refreshing. Animating Andy says, final part of Cobra Kai season 6 today. Yes, I can't wait to watch it. Crimson Raptor with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. Wired Robot says, what are your thoughts on the reports that Tesla received a contract for armored cars from the government? I haven't heard that report. I'll have to look and see it. I haven't heard anything about that one. Eric John Pizza Art says, if anything, Canada should be divided into 2 states, East and West. One state is crazy. I agree. Wired Robot says, probably a Streamlabs issue. And then BMO Better says, push-ups, bro, do some. MAHA 199. And then General Duality on Local says, Ryan must be really upset that RFK got confirmed. LOL. Well, I mean, to be fair, he's upset. He's just upset in general. So it is what it is. Okay, I have to cut it there because I missed a meeting because of all of this. I got to give a shout out to my team for handling it. So some of the other peeps at G&G handled it for me. And I got another meeting in about 30 minutes that I got to take. But if you're interested, I know I'll be back tomorrow during the day and probably tomorrow night. But I might go live again tonight as well. There's a lot of news to catch up on. Like, holy shit, man. So where we at? Fantastic vs. Knox says RFK is getting sworn in was so good despite other Kennedys were Harris supporters. Remember that video they did to vote against RFK? Oh yeah, I remember that. I mean, I wasn't a fan of RFK until he joined the Trump team. So, you know, General X Cynic with 5 gifted memberships. Let's freaking go. Yeah, there's a lot to happen. So I may have to go live again. I've got to go see Black Captain America tonight, Captain African American, so I can roast that for the Geeks and Gamers channel. But again, if you're here, don't forget, I am the creator of the Geeks and Gamers main YouTube channel. So if you're into the entertainment world, all of that, please go over there, subscribe to that channel. This is my personal channel, and we're going to be basically balls to the wall for the next several months over here. I'm taking CobraCast to 5 days a week instead of the 3 days a week, because when I said I was going to dial CobraCast back, that didn't go over very well with the people, and the people basically threatened me, and I responded. So we're here, baby. More CobraCast in the future. But I got to end this one right now. I appreciate all of you. Smash the melee button. Like the videos, all of them. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Shout out to Rumble. Shout out to everybody on Locals. And, of course, everybody on YouTube. Thank you for the gifted memberships. You guys have a great day, and we'll talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.